We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
I did. Oh, wow! Right on the tip. Just on the tip.
And Blabs. Co-hosted by our friends from around the internet.
There is a portion of Norway where it is legally required to carry a firearm at all times.
If you're just a normal man looking for common sense in this crazy-ass world, you've come to the right place. And now, broadcasting from our homes from around the internet, it's time for Side Scrollers. Oh, welcome out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com, and most importantly, SideScrollersPlus.com. What's going on, everybody? Hey, happy hump day to you. It is Wednesday, right? I believe it is. Hello, Blabs. Good to see you.
Hi, it is Wednesday indeed. I'm happy today. I'm getting so much stuff in the mail. Yes.
Oh, things you bought.
And cables, though, too, for my PC.
Ooh. Cables?
You know you're adulting when you're getting, new USB cables. Whoo!
You're really adulting when you get cables in the mail and you get very excited.
Well, listen, everything takes, a week. So I've just been sitting here waiting for, cables for a whole week. So, yes, today's the day.
The chat says it's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. You didn't know that.
You said it's Wednesday.
Did I?
Yeah.
I am actually from the beyond.
I thought it was Wednesday too, and the chat's going nuts.
It's because I do the gaming history in advance. So this morning I'm like, Wednesday, happy Wednesday, scheduled it all out. But yes, I gotta revert.
Well,
I'm in the future.
I have no excuse.
Yeah, you don't.
None at all. I'm just a giant piece of shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't tell the date at all. I'm just over here sucking.
Just go with that.
Well, it is Taco Tuesday. You know, tacos do sound pretty good today. So when was the last time you had a good taco?
Like the other day. My dad makes some good tacos.
Okay. I wonder. Hold on. If I can pull a Blabs for just a second.
Sure.
Okay. You're really keen on the gatekeeping of Italian food.
My dad's not Italian, so.
Okay. Is your dad
the bump's right there.
Is he Mexican?
No.
Then he makes the gringo tacos. Sounds good. Okay.
He is really good. It makes everything from besides the meat, not from scratch, but he chops everything up, slices the carrots, cucumbers.
Whoa, hold on. Disprove, we'll get to you in a second, okay? I'm sorry, we'll get to you in just a second.
What?
Buddy.
Tacos can have all the different vegetables inside of them. You can.
Yo,
put
what the fuck
in
are
them.
you talking about, Blabs? You're about to set me off right now.
Why? What are you, the Mexican gatekeeper of tacos?
I am. Listen, at no point, this is Tiny Craig talking to you right now. Should you ever put cucumbers and carrots into your taco?
Also cilantro and cheese and jalapenos if you want. And salsa.
This is ridiculous. Disprove. Have you ever had a taco?
With Blab's definition of they're really good tacos is he does them really well. He cuts the vegetables. That was her only category of they're really amazing. He didn't just get an entire carrot and just lump it in there.
Yeah, but
he
a
actually
lot of
cuts
times,
it.
No, listen, a lot of times when they go and get tacos from a fast food, it's all processed. It's been sitting chopped up for days with some sort of chemical in it so it doesn't go bad. These are nice and fresh, nice and chopped up right on the day after.
Yes. Stop buying fast food from random
yeah,
places.
well, I
It's just
don't. That's
good
the
advice
best
in general.
thing. Yeah.
But you know what they don't have, Blabs? Carrots and cucumbers in there.
It's not like you just put a whole cucumber in there. It's really, really thinly sliced little tiny pieces that, garnish inside of it with a little bit.
Invalid.
Yes,
you do not
Craig,
put cucumbers.
the pasty white male is telling me.
who lives in Texas.
That automatically makes you Mexican. Gotcha.
I've been to a million taquerias. As a matter of fact, I know that the best taquerias aren't from Guam.
You literally took me to Valerie's, which we can't talk about yet because we haven't put it on Plus. Well, it's scheduled on Plus, but still.
Valerie's.
You gave me a low bar.
Valerie's is from California. That's why.
Why did you take me then?
Well, because I didn't know they were from San Diego. They sucked compared to Texas Tex-Mex.
Pretty sure it's money laundering, didn't you say?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Their
Pretty
aim
sure
is to have no customers.
Yes, not many customers walking
There's
in
like
and
just
out of
us
Old
in
Ballard's.
there.
Yeah. Listen, chat. Have you ever put carrots and or cucumbers in a taco?
I like how you
before?
completely disregard everything else I said. It's just carrots and cucumbers are like
Yes.
the absolute no.
Blabs, there is nothing to consider when you put carrots and cucumbers in your taco.
Why? What's wrong with
Your
that?
opinion is void.
Okay, in Italian terms, this would be like putting tomato sauce, well, no, like mustard on a pizza.
Yes! Yes!
They're not
This
even
brew
the
gets it.
same.
It
You're
is.
telling me
It
an
is like
extra vegetable.
you're taking something that he knows a lot about and then going, I can just add whatever I want. And he's like, no, you can't.
Mm-hmm. Listen, at its core, Blabs, Mexican food is a tortilla, meat, cheese. That's it, right?
That's it. I disagree with that.
Then you add lettuce, tomato, pico de gallo, maybe some queso, right, which is melted cheese, maybe, right? But at its core, you take the meat, you take the tortilla, you take a little bit of cheese. Onions also a big player, right? If you want authentic stuff, you want your authentic street taco. It's like, you could throw in whatever part of the cow you want. There's tongue tacos, there's everything, right? You can have whatever you want, right? As long as it's meat, tortilla, cheese. At its core, that's what Mexican food is. It's just depending on how it's
I
wrapped.
really love the non-Mexican telling me what the Mexican food is. I feel like we should be offended on behalf of the Mexicans.
Well, why don't you
most
just go
people
eat some
are.
mustard on your pizza, all right?
Listen,
Then
Eric
that's-
says he puts mustard on some of his pizza. Where are you, Eric, in the chat?
Look,
I
there's
saw
there's a
you.
lot of abominations that exist in the world, but it doesn't make you correct. Like, Cornish pasties have a list of ingredients that can go in Cornish pasties. If you put anything else in, it's just a pasty, not a Cornish pasty. So,
Look,
yeah, you can put anything on a pizza. It's still a pizza. But
right.
it's still an abomination
So you're saying it's
against anyone
still
that
a
wants
taco, then?
traditional pizza.
Look, I don't even know what a Cornish pasty is, and I'm not going to tell this brew how to make his Cornish pasty. All right, I'm going to tell you that right now.
Hey,
I'm
I'll
not
see you.
I'm not gonna
Pew,
say-
pew.
It's like,
listen, this brew came in and called it a taco. All right, I'm not going to
That's
do.
true. I did
right?
see. I did hear that.
All right.
Taco.
Listen, can we all just appreciate that Blabs has no idea how to eat a taco, right?
no, I didn't say call it a takeout. I said don't buy things from takeout, I think is what I was trying to say.
No. When you first joined in, you said takeout.
You did. You
Rewind.
did. But listen, I'm glad we can establish this right at the bat. All right, this is ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure I was trying to say takeaway, but whatever.
Listen, either
I
way,
will bow to the clip that eventually appears.
we are
Takeout.
glad you're with us today. We're not glad that Blab's dad puts cucumbers and
It's
carrots.
not like he just puts a whole cucumber. It's like thinly sliced, like a little bit of garnish. and
Void.
Your amazing,
Voided.
nice meat and everything.
Voided.
Good.
Voided. Absolutely 1,000%.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna listen to the man who makes lasagna soup about food.
Have you tried it?
Do I want to try your lasagna soup? No.
Snob.
He puts lasagna soup. This brew.
You
Boo
very- you
I
ever-
this
don't even know
man.
what that is. I don't even know how you make lasagna into a soup.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now. It tastes just like lasagna. It has the exact same ingredients. Exact same ingredients.
Lasagna is lasagna.
Yeah, but is it
you
just
don't need to put it
lasagna
in
with
soup.
added water?
No. Well, I'll tell you what. I have a link. It's posted over on X. I'll share it with you sometime. Many people have tried that recipe, Blabs, and I would say that there's a 100% success rate of people enjoying that soup. 100%.
Okay, a lot of people also enjoy McDonald's.
Yeah. Well, it is the biggest fast food chain in the world.
Exactly. So it's like,
there's
what,
that.
what do I take that for leverage?
Listen, all I'm saying, Blabs, don't put cucumbers.
I will do
in your
as I
tacos.
please, and I will literally send photos next time I have a taco with cucumbers and carrots in it.
Otherwise, you're eating a pita. All right. You're having.
It's
you're
not a
having,
pita; it's a hard shell.
Listen, you might as well have it in a.
You could.
You might as well have it in like a towel of all things. You're not eating a taco.
A
at that point.
towel?
Yeah, I'm
Why
just
would I
saying.
eat cotton?
Well, I'm just saying. It doesn't even matter. Your opinion's voided. It's
It
ridiculous.
doesn't digest well. I'm assuming.
Next time you're
Try
down
chewing
here.
that.
Well, neither does
Chew on a
meat,
cud
and
like a cow.
neither does what you're offering here.
I
which is
beg to
carrot-
differ.
Ridiculous.
I beg to differ. It tastes good and it's
All right.
refreshing. Cucumbers are refreshing.
Sorry, we got a little riled up here to start the
I'm gonna
show.
put a cucumber in the water next time.
This is the problem with American freedom. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
I listen.
Yeah,
Like,
you
because I
Mr.
can't turn
Lasagna
anything into a
soup over
taco.
there.
This brew gets it. Disbrew totally.
You
gets it
don't.
because I know I get it. Don't you?
No,
ever.
I don't think you do.
We need to bring back the quality standards. You want to put that in a taco? No, we will ban you. You're not allowed.
Says the woman who doesn't want to try Olive Garden.
Why,
Right? I'm just
why
saying.
would I go to Olive Garden? Hello?
Infinite breadsticks.
I can go to the grocery store and get better
It's the
quality.
only thing I know about Olive Garden.
Infinite soup, salad, and breadsticks. That's right. There you go. You can have as much or as little as you want, Blabs. You at least got to try it.
No.
Yeah. Listen, I don't want to hear about it. Listen, I'm glad you're with us today. Glad Disbrew is with us today. As you can tell, it's going to be a wheels off show. It's going to be great.
Autism.
Yes, it's going to be great. Listen, don't be talking about them tacos. All right. We got a big show for you guys lined up. We were talking. Listen, did you know that we are the problem with society? Just want to throw that out there. This has been confirmed by the latest episode of Doctor Who, which Disbrew will guide us through later today. Speaking of white male podcasters, Critical Drinker has been flagged by HBO, and we're going to get to that story a little bit later. We have a streamer who gets called out on stream today, and it is effing hilarious to watch. It's absolutely brilliant. Speaking of streamers, there's a Twitch streamer who has been streaming continuously for 3 years, 24/7, and they're at a crossroads at their career. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. We got some Expedition 33 news. Oh, and of course, the GTA 6 trailer dropped today, and we have some juicy little details from that. So we got a lot going on today. Glad you're with us. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Lots of new friends joining us on a day-to-day basis. If you really like our show, you can always support us over at sidescrollersplus.com, which Blabs wants to tell you about all the fun things we have going on over there, huh?
Yeah, actually, I'm like super excited for this week. So later today, we're actually going to raid into Blabs versus Ninja Gaiden for the very, very, very first time. That's what I played. So stick around. We'll raid right into that. And then on Thursday, guys, we have the finale of season 1 of Nerd Duel premiering on YouTube. It's already available to watch on Plus. So if you've seen it already, don't spoil it. But it's literally Battle of the Retards. It is fantastic. And yes, I do feature in that episode. Maybe that's why it's called Retards. You don't know. However, honestly, it was the funniest episode I think we've ever shot. Hilarious, if I do say so myself. So stick around for that. That also premieres, and on Thursday we'll be raiding into that one as well. Starting actually tomorrow, I'm starting to do these little community discussions, if you will. So tomorrow morning, there's going to be a poll going up, a little discussion for you guys as well on Saturday too. A little discussion for you guys. It's basically Saturday's post is like a topic that we never got to discuss like weeks ago. So I still want to hear everyone's opinion on that, as it's still a timely conversation to have. And also on Sunday, we have Side Dishes Buc-ees premiering, which guys, Buc-ees. That's all I have to say about that. Buc-ees. And then we have, of course, everything else that has premiered so far. All the other Nerd Duels, Blabs Versus, of the other side dishes. We even went to Phoenix's house once upon a time. So
yeah,
check us out on Plus.
His old house when he was
Yes.
like 3. Yeah.
Yes.
Disbrew, I have a question for you. But before I get to that question, I do want to remind everybody that Side Scrollers Plus is not just a paid platform. Like, you can go sign up there for free. And the things that Blabs are talking about right here, these polls and stuff, there's a lot of things that are available for everybody over there, not just our quote unquote plus supporters, right? So make sure you guys make an account, open up a new tab, join us over there, and you can be a part of the conversation. It's like having a Twitter wall that is just for us. You can post things over there, and it's really, really great.
It's like it's better than Discord, honestly, because things get lost in Discord, whereas everyone can just go ahead and post whatever they want on Plus. So yeah, that's open to anybody and everyone, including like the community discussions and stuff. That starts tomorrow.
So, question for you, Disbrew. Are you familiar? Have you heard the legend that is Buc-ees? Have you heard of this thing before?
I know it's, well, you'd call it a gas station, which just is massive with food, clothes, very random things that no gas station should ever sell. But apparently the food is actually decent, which is rather unique for anything next to petrol.
Yeah.
Like we've all heard of the gas station sushi that nobody should ever consume, but apparently this is actually nice.
Well, they don't do sushi at Buc-ees, but they do barbecue. Yeah. They do some mean barbecue over there, and tacos, which do not include carrots and cucumbers. Burritos.
I do after Blabs is visited. She brings her own.
Right.
Just put my cucumber and carrots down and say, like, hey, can you add this?
really bizarre how that works out. Blabs always carrying around a cooler with a cucumber.
Her emergency
Some
taco
seltzer in
fund.
there as well because I'm Italian.
Hey, right at the back, give it up for SSJ4 Brandon, who became a Plus member over at Side Scrollers Plus. Thank you very much, man. Really appreciate that. That is outstanding.
It works again.
Eric Hyas came in, says Discata tacos are served with cucumbers. Well, I'm not familiar with that. And at its core, I guarantee you that's not what Blabs' dad is serving her. All right, I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Are you trying to
Discarded
insult
sounds
my
like the
dad?
ones you discard. Like, sounds like the worst tacos. Nobody wants these.
Listen,
No. No, my dad's actually a really good chef. So, Craig can't even,
He cuts
make
things.
pancakes, so.
yeah, congrats. He
chops
cut
the
up
vegetable.
That's right.
No,
he
he's
cut them
actually
up so
really good.
small. They're so good.
No, he
I'm
made
still
me
waiting for a
calzone
second
the
thing
other
that
day.
he does to the tacos. That's all
That's it. This means war. All right, here's my phone.
Yellow Flash game is why does Blabs hate the Mexicans so much? That's a good question, Flash. I don't even know. It's total cultural appropriation over here.
So it's the one who
Blabs-
keeps trying to mansplain to me about Olive Garden.
What's that have to do with? No. I'm just saying you should try it, Blabs. I'm not mansplaining. I'm gonna let.
You're mansplaining.
I'm gonna let
Anyway,
Olive
look
Garden
at this.
do the talking for myself.
Look at that big ass calzone. That's tomato sauce on top of it. That's dried up. So it was inside of a wood oven, which we do have. So
What the fuck am I looking at? What am I looking at?
It's a
right
giant ass calzone. Don't you see that? Look at that. That's an orange plate, so it's a bit hard to see.
Can you zoom in, please? What am I? Is it?
It's like how big it is. This was filled with prosciutto, mozzarella.
Can we go back to the wooden oven? Like,
Yeah.
this is a thing that you set on fire. There's a fire inside
No,
it. You're like, we're gonna make that out of wood.
it's not in my parents' house. No, so they have like a portable wood oven. They store it in their barn, and you literally pull it out. It's kind of like on a giant ass wagon, and it's like this giant wood outside oven. I have a photo of my phone somewhere. Hang on.
It's a calzone, Blabs.
Calzone,
Yeah.
stupido. Stronzo.
It's a folded pizza. Like,
Yeah,
wow, we've
that's
invented
all
an
it is.
entirely
Just a-
new form of pizza.
I'm with this brew on this. It's just a folded pizza. And
It is. That's all it is.
Want to get all technical about it. Hey, Marmalin says, Blabs, Craig fired for Wednesday lies, and this taco talk lasagna soup is now valid. Yes, thank you. This brew from
I
the
will
land of
not
bland
stand
showing
for any
everyone
of this
up.
bullshit.
Thank you,
Look,
Marmalin. Appreciate that.
Yes, we actually have taste buds, so we can taste the food.
Right, this brew, you're
Without just
British.
requiring
What
to
taste
add
buds
other
do you
things to it.
have?
But this is
Yeah.
the point. You can't understand. You've killed yours. So you're like, oh, we can't taste your food. It's like, well, that's strange because everyone else can.
Well, when we make our way over there, Disbrew, we'll bring this amazing thing called salt with us. It'll be awesome. you can try.
Salt. We have salt and pepper.
That's all they use
it's
in
about
the
the limit of
UK.
what we add to food. Everything else
Oh
is
man, I can't
ingredients.
find any pictures in my freaking wood oven.
You taking pictures of your food. You'll put it
Yeah.
on IG over there. Tamamo says Cornish pasties are amazing, made for people who worked in the mines, so they didn't need cutlery. There you go. Yeah, I have heard of that for sure. And Honey Badger says, Craig, go on main event and yell at Dan Vask. It would be funny and everyone can make fun of him. Oh, I'll yell at Dan Vask right here, right now. Although Dan did get back to me yesterday after ghosting me for 2
1
months.
month later.
Yes.
I do feel like I need to point out, though, that it is Cornish pasty because pasties are what you use to cover yourself
Okay, a pasty.
on the internet.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Why
a very
can't I
different
find
thing.
this wood oven?
It's like the Cornish aren't renowned for just walking around topless all over the place.
I do like the idea of these
That's
little
what they send
hens
down the
walking around.
mines.
little hens with their little booby tassels on.
Yeah, that's why no one down the mine needed to actually use cutlery. It was like they would just serve them.
Oh my! Hey, listen. This is the theme for today. All right. All super chats from here on out are insulting Blabs and how she eats
What
food,
else is now? It's just
including-
another day in wine.
Blabs puts raisins in her potato salad.
Ew! I'm not a big fan of the raisins.
Sith Lord says, "Can we get a Blabs in the key of Yellow Flash?"
Oh, hang
I know.
on.
Yeah, we
Please
need to get
hold.
that.
Let me scroll.
Labs, you're fired.
That's right. Fort Line, thank you so much. It says greetings from the UK. Montez. Oh, we're gonna get our Montez goal today. I can feel that. Dave
I
says, to be
got
fair,
it.
Craig is describing Tex-Mex and not Mexican. Listen, I have experienced both, and yes, I am primarily describing Tex-Mex, but I do know the authenticity of the true Mexican taco.
There is stupid glare. There is. You see that? That is the pizza oven. There it is.
That actually
Yeah.
looks like a Doctor Who villain in itself.
What? It's a pizza oven. Stupid. What? Get out of here. Listen. That's better. I turned my light off. You can see it now. Let me back. There it is. You see, is that better? Yeah, it's better.
Why are you telling me this? What makes you think I have any interest in that at all?
You asked to see it. There's the pizza oven in the wintertime.
Thank you. Hey,
He
Geraldine
cuts
says,
vegetables and he owns an oven. Like, this guy is ahead of his time.
Nuh-uh, he's got multiple. He's got a smoker.
okay, Blaz, we get it. Your dad can cook, all right?
Why? You're being mean to him for
He
no
hasn't
reason.
starved to death his entire life.
But the point is, Blabs, is that he puts cucumbers and carrots in tacos.
You made lasagna soup. Sit down. I mean,
With
you're already
all the
sitting.
same
You're
ingredients.
sitting.
It's not like we just once
Stand
again.
up.
Stand up, man.
It's not like I went in and just threw like a head of cabbage in the soup. That's not how this works. It's throwing an ingredient that doesn't work, right? I'm just telling you. That's the whole idea. And look at
I
this.
don't want to hear anything from you.
Look at this. Beryllium has this day ruined as a Hispanic. That is.
Okay, and as an Italian, my day is constantly ruined by Craig trying to harass me about Olive Garden.
I'm
See
not
how this
harassing
works?
you. I want
You are
Olive
so
Garden
harassing me.
Labs. I want Olive Garden to do the talking.
I want to call
first of all.
HR. Hello?
Please do.
Craig's harassing me. See
He
how
says,
it works?
listen, if we're going around, if we're going to allow pineapple on pizza,
We're
then we
not
should
going to allow pineapple on pizza either.
That's
No.
the thing that we do.
No.
We can all agree on that.
It's like, no one said that was allowed.
Oh, Harriet Tubman's in, Blabs.
I'm Harriet Tubman for 5. Carrots and cucumbers on a taco. What the F is this gay shit? You can't call me a pasty white man, so suck it, Blabs. Gang, tub out. Listen, I'm going to call you a pasty white woman then.
Don't do that. Ian says, Disparu puts pepper on his food, bit exotic for my taste.
Sometimes I like to push the boat out. I may occasionally put a bit of chutney on it if I'm feeling spicy.
Ooh, I like chutney.
Chutney is a special word for jelly, I think, right? And that pretty much what,
No, for
what
fuck's
chutney
sakes,
is.
Craig.
I don't know, because
chutney's
our jelly isn't
chutney.
your jelly either. Yeah, we just have called
And
chutney.
then Craig has the audacity talking about tacos, but this
No,
man
Blabs,
doesn't even know what chutney is.
I do know what a chutney is. I do. It's just like a better version of a jelly, more or less.
What?
It is. I mean, not with all the sugar and stuff. Dirtis King
The
says,
more
"Pop
mom
tart."
seam
Blab-
is jelly. Oh my god!
The more
Hey,
offended Blabs gets, the higher pitched her voice went there. Did
A
you?
dog can hear me.
Yeah, Bowser's over here rolling around. Dirtis
What, is
King.
you around again?
There are dogs in Japan that's ears perked up. They're like, oh, that was ultrasonic.
If you hear a
Pop-Tart.
mosquito, it's me.
Is a non-beef Wellington. No taco should have a hard shell, and Blabs likes well-done steaks with ketchup. There you go.
Sorry,
No,
a
no, I
Pop Tart is a non.
Fake
Surely
news.
everything that isn't a beef Wellington isn't on beef Wellington.
Mm-mm. Eric Aya says, you think pineapple is bad. How about cherry and pineapple together on a Hawaiian Sonora? No, not doing
I've never heard of a cherry on a pizza.
that. Tamamo says, also in regards to the British having salt and pepper, I barbecued jerk chicken. Thanks you for censorship. It's amazing. Also, my
can't
uncle
say
has
jerk.
all spicy. Yeah, you can't say jerk on YouTube, apparently.
Oh,
Mama.
the most offensive of slurs.
Damn you. Ranting Ryan's right. It says we need a new Montez and Blabs pizza oven. There you go. Just pops in and it gets burnt to hell. Aramis says, still alive. Have a great week, everyone. Just doing a quick drive-by to ask Craig his birthday month and date would do. Also, hey Blabs, loving the hair today. Montez.
Thanks.
June 17th. There it is. That is my birthday. All right. We got a lot to get to today, and I'm glad you're with us. We can sit here and talk about Blabs' poor taste in food, and she gets so mad. We can do that all day long, which we could, and maybe we will. But instead, we're going to get to today in gaming history. So, Blabs, what do we? Oh no, hold on. Actually, before you get to it, I had this list pulled up. I want to do something a little different today,
Oh dear.
and I wanted to guess the games that you put on today in gaming history because I have not looked at it yet. Okay, so I have the list pulled up right here. And I'm going to guess that you put Mario Party 3 on. Don't say yes or no yet. I'm going to guess that you put Dog Island on because you're Blabs. And Hades 2. That's my 3 guesses for the day. Let's see if I got it right or wrong.
All
Surely
right,
Eve
everybody.
Online's got to be on there.
Yeah,
Listen.
well, Dog Island's on it. Let's go.
Okay, Blaster Master, or Blasting Again, was released in 2001. Mario Party 3, which, by the way, I almost missed this, and I was like, oh shit, there's Mario Party, so I had to redo this, and I'm glad I did, or otherwise, like, I would have faced even more wrath today than I've already just, faced. And then we have Dog Island, which I've actually never played, so, yeah, very close pickings today. You're welcome.
All right, some noticeable games that you missed include Castlevania, Aria of Sorrow.
That's actually what I had in there instead of Mario Party. Like, it was all down, and I was like, oh, Mario Party, let me just swap those out just in case.
Yes. Castlevania, Aria of Sorrow, a great GBA game. EVE Online, as you mentioned, Disparu, released 22 years ago in
the
2003.
MMO for accountants.
The Van Helsing movie tie-in game released for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox. R-Type Command for the PSP. Speed Racer for the Wii and DS. Actually, pretty underrated Wii game. Just going to throw that out there. Also, and I mentioned Hades.
Project Cars.
Project Cars. Oh, yeah. I remember Project Cars. I totally forgot about that one. Yeah.
Still played by a lot of people.
Oh, interesting.
Not your sim races.
So there you go, Blabs. Your games that you missed today. Samurai Warriors for PlayStation 2. Lufia, the Runes of Lore. Listen, I think that, yes. What do you think? Think we should do that from here on out where I can guess?
Actually think you should, just as long as you don't see it on Twitter, because it goes up on Twitter first. Avoid the Twitters.
Yeah, I try to spend as little time on Twitter as I possibly can, except for when I'm building the show on a day-to-day basis. Yes. All right. We have a lot to get to. Glad you're with us. We're going to hit our Montez goal today, including letting you know that JG Digital Jedi came in as a brand new Plus member. Thank you very much for opening up a new tab, joining us over at Side School.
See, I thought you were going to be really stupid and not get it right. And I was waiting for you to be like, became Plus member, but it didn't happen. So now I'm kind of disappointed.
Mercenary came in, says a new Blaster Master would be there. You're fired. Thanks, Mercenary. Appreciate that. Chibi says, all food ends up in the same place once it's out of the body. Eat whatever you want. Enjoy what you want. Chibi, that's not how we do things here. We will shame you. we will
bully you.
And Modest came in and says, hey, abada bing. You guys are so open and diverse that would you like to invite an Australian lesbian on the show? Good on you, Craig. Arrivederci, mi amigos. Pepperoni, mozzarella, chimichangas, lasagna soup. Are you an Australian lesbian? Just brew?
No, I think they're mixing me up with Heel First Babyface, who's meant to be from New Zealand.
Oh.
The lesbian bit, that's my kind of lore that's developed over time, thanks to Chrissy Mayer. But apart from that, no, I don't know where the Australian bit comes from.
I think it's because the UK and Australia and all with the Queen and King and stuff.
I don't even have a criminal record.
You need one to be Australian.
That's where we used to send them all.
Yep.
All right. Let's get into it. We have a lot to go over today, and we are sitting here talking about lasagna soup and cucumbers and tacos. I just don't know how I can deal with any of this nonsense. All right, let's get into it. We've been very brave today, and we will continue to be. Let's go ahead and hit our Montez goal, and let's have a great show. It's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for Hard News. Hard News. All right. Disparu, question for you as you take a nice big gulp of water. Did you play a lot of the PlayStation 2 back in the day?
No, I never. I had a PlayStation 1 and then switched to PC at that time and never went back.
You should know this about Disparu. He's a PC master race, like Arch.
Okay. This
is why when Marathon was like, we're finally adding aim assist to the mice, and all the control people were like, you can't have that. They can't have aimbots. It's like, even the developers are like, no, well, you've had it for decades. Why are you suddenly complaining about it? So I think there's interesting times ahead for the PC Master Race people.
Well, we have nothing PC Master Race about this story, or at least this little tidbit here. As you may recall, though, for those who are tuning in who were familiar with the PlayStation 2, the PlayStation 2 startup noise, which is, as a recall, here it is. I can feel everybody in the chat going, "Oh, nostalgia!" Right there.
I think the PS1 was similar to that, though, wasn't it? Because I remember that noise.
Yeah. It definitely has a very recognizable sound. Anybody who played during that era certainly would be like, "Oh, I know that." At least it sounds familiar. Well, and I don't know if this is true or not, but this may be true. I don't know. This is just one of those Instagram clips that Blabs puts in, and I'm like, let's just roll with it.
Let's just roll with it.
But if you've ever wondered, the clip here it says, if you've ever wondered how the PlayStation 2 startup sound was made, you won't believe this. You won't believe it. Well, I may not, but this could be true.
4, 3, 2, 1.
The idea of throwing a piano off the edge.
What a waste of money. Just here, launch.
I mean, it is always fun to see things, yeeted off the top of a building.
Poor piano.
I'm not even sure how that would work. Because the hammer only goes back from the weight of the key, so even if it flips upside down, the hammer would go back, but you need some kind of impact to force the hammer forward onto the string.
No.
Yeah, I used to play piano. I don't understand how it, you have to press the key to force the hammer into the string. So, if it made the noise when it collided, sure, but going upside down shouldn't make the hammers.
I think the audio was ahead of the video.
Well, here's my issue with this, Blabs. Our president wants to let you know something.
You are fake news.
You are fake news.
Listen, I'm trolling you. I know that's not how it happened. It's just funny.
You are fake news, Blabs.
Mm-hmm.
Unreal.
You're a podcaster trying to mislead the country and taking up the bandwidth of the institutions.
That's wild. See, that's going to tie into a wonderful story we have coming up here in just a minute. Thank you, Disprue. That's a great job.
Blabs is the problem.
You are the problem. It's not white males. It's white Guamanian women over here.
White Guamanians.
It's ridiculous. All the white Guamanians just throwing fake PlayStation 2 news is ridiculous.
Blabs, you're fired.
Thank you, Flash. Ridiculous.
Disper's like,
it's very weird to keep hearing his voice randomly.
It's like Jesus.
All right, well, let's see if speaking of random, this was interesting. I hope this is real, Blabs. As apparently, according to the internet, we have this. This is a 25-year-old Pokemon pack was found under a shelf at Target.
It actually, I'm pretty sure this is 100% real. If you scroll, you will see it.
I don't believe you.
No. No. There's a button. Go back up. You see a little arrow button? Yeah, hit that. There it is. And
That's
there's volume.
That's AI.
No, it's
Target,
not.
you see that? I lifted up this shelf right there.
Oh.
That pack was laying there.
I believe
Y'all
it.
think I'm lying?
See?
Yeah, that's real.
Told you,
Y'all are
clean your
corny if you
Target
think I'm
shelves.
lying, because I really found this. I got witnesses. I'm not even going to put them on camera, but I'm going to just ask them. I'm not going to put y'all on camera, but did I not find this base set 2-pack under the shelf just now?
Sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
A lot of people are going to go.
Like,
a
I
lot of
wonder
people are
how
gonna-
much that pack is worth.
That was my point. Yeah, a lot of. Oh, it's amazing. He's found Pokemon cards. They're going to be worthwhile. Like, this is how dirty Target is. That's what I'm concerned with. They haven't cleaned that shelf in 25 years.
I guess those shelves haven't been moved. No one's opened up that shelf at all. Nobody's gone in to look at it, do any sort of inventory. And let's actually go back and take a look at this real quick. I think it is important to go in and actually take a look at some of the stains and shit that were underneath.
Target sells food, correct?
No, they sell food now, but they were like your everyday supply,
What are those bits?
basically.
Yeah, this like dead bugs over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, or droppings or something.
Why?
Ew.
Bigger question: why is there a Speedo tag next to where the Pokemon cards are?
I mean, probably over time they swapped out what was on that shelf, right? They went from cards to bathing suit stuff, I'm assuming.
Yeah, this looks like Asmongold's room over here.
Yeah, that's nasty. But like, it kind
Did
of
you really
leads
fell
me.
through his ceiling?
Yes, I did.
feel like the next time I go to Target, I want to lift up one of those shelves and see what's underneath them. Granted, I don't live by any Target, so I don't know when I'll go. But
Well, yeah. See, we have a Coke atop of a soda over here, which is nice.
instruction paper looks like.
Yeah, this is quite the setup. There's a lot going on down here, which makes me very uncomfortable. But the most important thing is that he found 25-year-old Pokemon cards, which I'm
Good
sure.
for him.
Hey, it's about as good condition as you can be in for being underneath something like that for the better part of a quarter century. So
now he can pay for his medical bills of whatever he just contracted from under there.
Right? No, he can't. This is America. You kidding?
Orthodox
Okay,
Monk says
sorry.
about $246 market price for an unopened base set 2 booster pack as of now. What
Okay.
a steal. What a steal.
Yeah. All right. What a steal indeed.
Hey, man.
What a steal. It's crazy.
How would they even come up for a price? Because there's no way that's still in the system as like.
Well, I'm sure somebody
barcode.
has one factory sealed, and I'm sure Orthodox one probably just went to like eBay sold.
No, I mean the store.
Yeah,
Like,
you can't
Target won't
like
have a price for
Oh,
it.
you can't pay for it. He'll probably just be like, so I found this from 25
And then
years
I
ago.
nicked
Can I
it from
have it?
Target.
Yeah, is he okay? That's a better question. Okay, if he walks out of with it, is it technically stealing? Because
Yes.
it's not in their system. It's something that
But it's their property.
is it? Maybe somebody put it there.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
irrelevant. It's there. They sold them at some point. It's on their property. It's hidden underneath. You took something off their land without their consent. It's like going, well, I don't own any of this stuff because it's not in a system where I put a price for people. You know, like, well, it's in my house.
You could say he's colonizing Target, or you're just taking things that were on
That
their
would be
ground.
based.
Lock him up.
I'd support him if he just moved in with a flag.
It just pops his flag right there, goes all Chaz on it. Oh my God. Well, good for that guy for finding the 25-year-old thing. It's worth maybe a couple $100, you said, Blabs?
Yeah, according to Orthodox monks. Hey, man, if I found something like that, I'd be like skipping down the aisles, man.
Yeah,
Just
you
saying.
would.
I mean, I did find a hermit crab once in KB Toys, so.
Did you buy that too?
No, actually, we took it to the front desk and we're like, are you selling this? And the cashier lady was like, ah! Because it was at the mall. And so we ended up keeping him, and he had like a little yellow shell with a little painted flower on him. So I called him Mellow Yellow. And I got to keep him, put him in a nice hermit crab tank and everything with heat. And it was really nice. Had him for a couple of years, and then he died.
Blab's story is just, I kidnapped a crab.
Yeah, it's
I
really-
went shopping and kidnapped a crab.
What are you going to... Did you just mute me? Bitch.
I thought that was your end.
No, Craig was like, boop.
Ian came in and says, I visited Australia recently. At immigration, they asked if I had a criminal record. I said, I didn't know it was still necessary. Thanks, Ian. Appreciate that. Tamamo came back, says, I studied sound design. I've never met a sound design person with a cupboard of the most random assortment of bits and bops they collect just to make the weirdest sounds. It could be anything. Thanks, Tamamo.
Yeah, wasn't the Star Trek door noise like someone just blowing down a nostril onto a piece of paper? It's the most weird sound effect.
The more you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of really interesting things for sure. Marmalin says department stores never clean under there. I worked retail. They do not clean unless they rearrange the entire store, and moving those is a bitch. Thanks, Marmalin. Appreciate that. Commodore fan says X worked at Walmart. In 2004, she found a V1 version 1 N64 Game Shark under electronic section shelf. Her boss said, take it. And it's how
Wow.
sealed and boxed.
So I guess this happens all the time. Listen, so everybody, after the show's over, we all go to Walmart and Targets, and we all just start opening up the shelves, and everyone just start looking. Let's make it viral. It's just what they have.
It's a horrible idea, Blabs.
Why
Horrible.
not? It'd be so funny. Does Walmart and Target clean their shelves? Find out. Post side scrollers. Huh?
Go ahead, Blabs. Put that on plus. Dirtus King says, if it's old enough to be out of the system, it's worth 1 cent according to the store. Toy people talk about this. Well, you can go up and pay for 1 cent. David came in and says, I work retail. The yellow is floor wax from the yearly waxing. Also, we have to check under the base decks and then zip tie them down before inventory. Also, every UPC we've ever had is in the system. There you go, David. Thank you very much for the clarity on that. Bike Short says that was definitely someone's secret stash before they forgot that to get their pack. All right, awesome. And Jack says might be some out of production collectibles. Conditions may vary. Thank you, Jack. All right, let's go and move on. We have this is kind of interesting, I guess, in a weird way. Jeff Bezos, the man behind Amazon, has sold $4.8 million. I'm sorry,
Billion.
$1 billion worth of Amazon stock, but he would still own nearly 900 million shares. Blabs, can you please find out how many, what the valuation of the Amazon stock is worth right now, please, just to get an idea of this. So, curious, Disparu, if you had $4.8 billion in Amazon stock, what would you do with that? What would you do with $4.8 billion?
I would immediately sell it like he has. I was like, I'm not keeping the stock. I have the money. Then I would probably randomly impregnate people from around the world and just give it all away in child maintenance payments, like Elon Musk.
I was gonna say, who are you, Elon?
I know. It's just strange the plans that billionaires have. You know, there's lots of things you can do with the money. It's like, no, I don't know. I would probably buy property from around the world wherever I want to vacation or whatever, rather than staying in hotels. You can travel wherever you want. You can get citizenship in all those countries, so you don't need to worry about immigration and stuff. And then I would just live the life of Riley. You don't have to work, but you can if you want to. And I would just do whatever took my fancy on any kind of day. You just go around the world and any kind of new experience. You want to go on a expensive cruise ship? Doesn't matter. You can pay for it. You'll make it back in interest tomorrow. And do that. And I'll tell you what I wouldn't do. I wouldn't cling on to power as a CEO of a company and waste my entire day working when I've got more money than I could possibly spend in my life. You wouldn't see me for dust.
I love that the first thing you thought about was just going around and screwing a bunch of women.
That would definitely happen. I just wouldn't be stupid enough to pump out a load of babies and give them child maintenance payments, which seems to be his master plan. It's like it's deliberate for him, so fair play. But
I mean,
yeah,
I think
that.
Would you let Elon Musk impregnate you, Disparu, for the child?
For $4.8 billion, he could do whatever he wanted to me. It's like,
wow.
It's $4.8 billion.
A man of integrity. I love that.
Hey, everybody's got their price. Mine's a lot less than $4.8 billion.
It's like $4.8.
Yeah.
So I have Amazon stock pulled up,
Yep.
and it was green, and all of a sudden it just flashed red. So I guess it's down 0.18% today, and it's 186.17 USD right now.
$186 per share. Okay, let's play the calculator game. I always like to play this. So $186 per share. He has 900 million shares. So we're going to multiply that times 900 million shares just to see what the valuation of this is, just for shits and giggles. Which comes out to there's a comma. There's a comma.
167 billion, is it?
That is correct. $167 billion. So
Ooh-wee.
4.3 billion is pocket change at this point, right?
Well, that was the thing with him. He got divorced, so he lost half of his entire life's work. And he made it back in like a year or two. It was wild.
Yeah, but now he has that wife who's like a self-declared astronaut or whatever, his fiance. So he's got to spend money on her.
I didn't know she'd gone up. Did she go up in the all-women's crew?
She did with Katy Perry, yeah.
Well, good for Jeff Bezos and his ability to print money without even trying. Congratulations to him, man. He won outside of the aspect of he's not going around and putting a bunch of babies and a bunch of women. Saying.
To be fair, I'm all for Elon impregnating as many people as possible. If you're that smart, I want your genetics passed down through the generations. I think he's doing a national duty.
Well, he does have that son who thinks he's a daughter. So it can't be that.
True. I mean, look, everyone can't be a winner. There are genetic variations for us all.
That's right.
He might also produce the next genius that can save the planet, you know?
It's true. Good call. Good call. All right, let's move on to this next story here. Listen, I don't know a whole lot about Doctor Who. I know it's big. It's a massive series. It's become more massive over the last, I don't know, decade or so here in the States. I would say it's definitely picked up an audience outside of the casual, but
I think it was before the last decade. In the last decade, it's committed Sudoku and it just annihilated itself.
Well, let's talk about that, because this ties into one of the things in our title today, that at the end of the day, them white man podcasters are the devil. So have you been following the show since it's turned into bringing its sword slowly into its stomach and rising it up to kill
because
itself?
I was a big fan in sort of the Tennant era. A lot of people preferred Matt Smith. I thought, he's all right, but he's not Tennant. And then it really went downhill. They started, they just randomly gender swapped him. The Doctor was always a man before. Then it was suddenly Jodie Whittaker. Her episodes were awful. But they were losing viewers, and their plan to get it back was to bring back the guy that did the original reboot and David Tennant. So these are the two people that essentially made the series popular. Well, it seems like they came back to destroy it. Everyone was humiliating Tennant. They was like, well, you will never understand as a male-presenting Time Lord how to give up power. And he's standing in front of two women and one that said they were. And they're all like, we can give up power unlike you. And so he was humiliated for 3 episodes. Then they changed to Cutie Gatwa, who's a Rwandan. So every other one had been like a white British guy as it was. And this time they changed it to that. Then Ruby Sunday left and they brought in a new companion specifically so they could go, this is the first all non-white TARDIS. Everything has been about virtue signaling. So, Cutie Gatwa is a horrible doctor. He's too happy-go-lucky and camp. You can't take him seriously. The Doctor's supposed to be intelligent and, like, serious, and he has a dark side to him, which Cutie just doesn't have the depth to play. You can't take him seriously. And so this time, Ruby Sunday is the main character. And so they brought her back. Cutie's not in it. And she meets her boyfriend. It's very surprising, the fact that in all the other episodes, there's been lots of messages, but it's all been essentially Russell T Davies just acting out his life on all the things. So we've had like drag queens and everything on the show. This is the first time it was like just a straight relationship. It's like, it's weird that, but okay, it's in the show. Of course he had to be the villain of the episode. I should have seen the twist coming right there. And it is that he is a podcaster who... He saw the Doctor when he was younger, saw his essentially spaceship vanish. So he knows full well it's real, but he for some reason doesn't believe in any of it. And there's this thing called UNIT, which defend Earth from aliens. And he starts essentially trying to prove that they're lying to people. So he gets with Ruby as a way of faking his way to be close to someone to the Doctor, so he can lure UNIT out and prove that they're making fake aliens. And to convince the public. And he does this by faking aliens. I don't know why UNIT would come to defend an area from aliens that they know don't exist, but they do. And then it immediately turns, and it hits every single woke bingo card you could possibly imagine.
Oh boy.
She's like, arrest them. You can't do that. This is censorship. You're just the state trying to manipulate us. And she's like, I'm fed up of people like you taking up our bandwidth with radical blogs. What was it? Radical blogs, echo chambers of misinformation, disinformation. You're just lying to the people and endangering us. And the message of the entire episode is, believe the state, believe its institutions, believe the media. You should listen to the news, but anybody else is just like, oh, you can't trust them. Trust the Ministry of Truth. And if you don't, you're basically evil. And she said that podcasters utilize their Ministry of Hate to convince the gullible people to harm their own self-interest and stuff. And it is probably one of the most ideological episodes they've ever made. And it beats a few.
Wait a second. So this Russell T Davies is the very same guy who made the episode where 10 is all like, doesn't she look tired? Like going against the system, but now we're pro the system. Okay.
Well, this ends with the Doctor coming back and he sort of kidnaps him. And there's a speech that the Doctor gives. And it doesn't make sense in the context of the episode. Nothing he says... Because this plot has so many plot holes in it, it contradicts itself. You can't really tell whether he believes that they're fake, but if he doesn't believe that they're fake, it doesn't make sense. But by the end, he clearly knows that they're not faking it, but he's still acting as if it doesn't make sense. But Cutie is essentially a self-insert of the writers. And he's going, I'm fed up of dealing with people like you. I'm going forth to stand up for the little guy. that just wants to live a life in their bed, warm and safe. And people like you're taking up our bandwidth. You're filling up our bandwidth and making us tired. They're just noise, blotting out the truth. And it's like, what on earth are you even talking about?
Dude, I'm so glad I stopped watching. So, like, I didn't want Jodie Whittaker as a doctor, but I was like, let me watch before I be like, ah. And it was so god awful. I think I watched 2 episodes and I was like, GG's, I'm out. I'm glad I did. I haven't seen a single episode since those like 2 episodes of Jodie Whittaker. So yeah.
So this has not gone over very well, and the ratings continue to plummet. Where does this compare to where this was? I don't know, previous seasons.
Oh, well, if you go back to even the start of Cutie Gatwa's run, so this is his season 2, so just even last season, the start of last season, they've lost 46% of all viewers they had when his run started. And he started at a low point. So the further you go back, it's just all downhill, essentially. But out of these 4 episodes, 3 of them broke records for the lowest viewership of all time. So it's going down, and every time it drops, it breaks a new record for the lowest.
Nice.
Wow.
Every week is a new record.
Yeah, and they just keep doubling down on it. It's wild.
I remember when Doctor Who used to be so big, especially in America, around 2013, 2012, 2014, that era. It was like everywhere because like that was like the height of season 5. Everyone was going, not season 5, season 6 or season 7, I should say, with Matt Smith. Everyone was going gaga. They were in New York City, Angels of Manhattan. It was like everywhere. And now how the mighty have fallen.
No, every one of this is just a political message.
Yeah.
So episode 1 was about how gamers are incels.
Nice.
Episode 2 was about segregation. Episode 3 was how people are bigoted towards deaf people. They've all got a message they want to tell.
That's awesome. That's so good.
There was a big thing where he says, well, normally we hand it over to a sensitivity readers and they correct what's wrong for us. But in this one, they congratulated us for talking about how people will talk behind the backs of deaf people. People will get insecure that deaf people are signing, and they're like, can you just say it out loud so I know what you're talking about? But in their own episode, she gets annoyed when they turn their backs on her because they don't want her listening into the conversation. And she's like, you need to turn around so I can talk. And they have no idea, like, the double standard they have or being the hypocrites. Like, every message they do backfires on them, and they don't care or they don't realize.
Spectacular. I mean, this is like, so why... Like, how long does Doctor Who have? It seems like it's on life support. If it's dropped 46% since the start of last year, and last year was a low point, and it continues to nosedive. I mean, is there talk of Doctor Who just ending?
Yes, it came out a while ago in a news report that QT was gone. Basically, it's not been officially announced because the show's still going. But a newspaper leaked that he had gone. All the sets and everything have been closed down. The current showrunner has announced he's working on another project afterwards, and he doesn't work on 2 projects at a time, so it looks like he's gone. So while it seems to be cancelled, it's also one of the bigger shows that BBC has, like IP wise. So they may want to keep it on. Maybe they're going to jump through some hoops to try and drag it out, but it's at least going away for a while. And I don't think there's many people left that would be upset about that. And they're like, well, send it away for a very long time, and then maybe then bring it back later once all these people have gone. Because, yeah.
Well, I think you hear that from franchise. That's actually what people are asking for, like Star Wars, right? People are like, wow, what if it just went away for a decade, and then you kind of brought it back? Just let it kind of lie. Sometimes absence makes the heart grow fonder in a situation like this, to where, they just totally more or less bring it back after they see the culture change. And I don't know. Maybe that is a good thing.
Well, the issue with this is it's run by the BBC. And so even if you changed the people that run Doctor Who, they're still owned by the BBC. The BBC is an institution. It doesn't want to change. Every time it has a problem, it's like, oh, we're too right-wing. So it just keeps doubling down on everything. And that's what this episode was. It was essentially whining that nobody trusts the BBC anymore. It's like, I can't understand why. You've got a statue outside, which was done by an absolute pervert, and you're renowned for having various court cases for your presenters for the same problem. like, there are many reasons to dislike the BBC. And they're like, no, if only people trusted us, we could save the world. I don't believe that. So I don't think the BBC is going to change because they're not like your companies where they get ad revenue, it's all private money.
Mm-hmm.
This is a license fee that they get whether anyone likes the show or not. You are obliged to pay it by law if you watch live TV in any form. And there are rumors that it's going to be forced on everybody by a tax, and so they get even more money. So they don't need to change, and they're essentially just the mouthpiece of the state is essentially their role.
What a weird world you live in over there. That's crazy. This is so weird.
This is what happens when everyone, like, all the people in power agree. They're like, no, actually, we all want the same aims. We just disagree on how to get there. So nobody wants to take them down. They will say to the people, because the people don't want it, they will tell you one thing, and then they'll be like, yeah, we'll do that in 2032, just assuming they'll be out of power by then and never get held accountable for it. So you just end up in a rut.
Right. Well, that's I appreciate the heads up and how the attention has been turned on to people like you, people like me, people like Critical Drinker, who are now the devil.
Blabs was also included in the show. His gang of misinformation did include a white woman as well. So,
ooh.
Yes,
Everybody
I feel
gets
represented
included.
and seen.
How dare they assume her gender? It's ridiculous.
That's true. I am a pine cone after all.
Hey, Rod came in and says 4.8 billion. I would buy some houses here in Mexico and in San Diego in the U.S. Buy the retro games from my childhood. Wasn't able to invest and make a store to administrate and travel. Let's go, Rod. That sounds like a plan. Let's stinking go. Love that. Marmalade says department stores never clean under there. I worked retail. They do not clean unless they rearrange the entire store, and moving this as a bitch. Thank you very much. Sorry.
See, we're all gonna go and check.
I'm not.
The certificate says, guys, breaking news. Lords of the Fallen developer claims he has data that proves the modern audience is a false myth. Oh, we all knew that.
Yeah, in other news, water is wet.
Right.
But thank you for the super chat.
Kratos came in with the 10, says, I'm a bit late getting caught up, but Torchy's has a bunch of non-Mexican tacos on the menu. To be fair, I've had Korean bulgogi tacos with spicy cucumber and carrot slaw. Yeah, to be fair, you did. Blabs did not have a Korean taco, though, she said.
How do you know?
Oh, Blabs, did you have a Korean taco?
I don't know. Don't know what a Korean taco really is.
Oh, my God. Proctor says, Proctor Do would like time to would like to think a time / dimensional traveling TARDIS came and dropped off the 20-year-old Pokemon pack specifically to mess with the timeline and skew code reader at Target. Montez, thank you so much, Proctor. Appreciate that. Marius says, we went from Daleks and Cybermen to
Daleks and Cybermen to podcasters as villains. Further proof that modern showrunners are just creatively bankrupt. I'm sorry, Marius.
That's one of the reasons the episode doesn't make sense, because this guy's going, aliens don't exist. It's like, I'm sorry, you have lived through a time where multiple spaceships have gone through your like overhead, and there was a Cyberman in every single room in the entire planet on every single person. You have had cubes that projected things from other dimensions into your room. And you're like, I don't believe these things are real. It doesn't make sense in the universe.
Let's go read this.
Connor C. Dog from Trash Taste says, only listen to BBC, by the way, and you wonder why Redacted was invited to their podcast. Ooh. Anyway, Lex says, being Gen X, the only doctor I know from PBS playing British TV when I was a kid was Tom Baker. Did Bowser just bark?
Yeah, he's right behind me. It's raining outside. He's scared.
Oh, I thought you ran him over with your chair. I was like, bruh.
I did.
Oh, so it's not because of the rain. It's because you heard him.
No, because I went backwards and I scared him.
All right. Okay. Let me scroll here. Get rid of that.
Thanks, Lexicon.
Mercenary says, I miss Missy. She was fun, crazy, and terrifying. Yeah, I actually liked Missy. Did you like Missy?
She's a good actress.
Yeah. I thought she was a twist. It was cool. Mercenary also says Peter could take terrible scripts and make it good. Yeah, I didn't really enjoy Peter's run, to be honest.
Well, the best thing about this is the writer of this episode is the writer of the next spin-off they're going to do about how sea monsters are coming to murder all of the humans. And I'm fully expecting him to just go, and that's a good thing. That's where you polluted the oceans, and so you deserve it.
Is Torchwood coming back? Is that a thing?
No, it's the Battle of Land and Sea. It's just a spin-off with Unit fighting
who
DC
cares?
creatures.
Anyway, Mercenary also says Peter Capaldi and Missy was the last good Doctor Who. I think you meant Capaldi, but thank you. Commodore says, I worked for DG for 5.5 years, got a lot of stuff. We had to penny out like heaters, pens, lawn chairs, milk cooler, etc. It's crazy what's tossed. Thank you very much. Tamamo says the doors weren't someone blowing. It was literally just paper going in and out of an envelope. Oh, about the sound effects.
Okay, let's go and move on to our next story. We'll get to the rest of your super chats here in just a little bit, all your direct donations. Thank you guys very much for your support. But I want to move on and talk about this. Okay, so Last of Us, the TV series from HBO, has been out. And all the people who didn't play the game have now experienced what is going on in the series, where in season 2, episode 2 of The Last of Us on HBO, Joel is brutally murdered. And there was a big turn in the game where people it was a major moment in the game. And now that moment is hitting the TV audience who's experiencing it for the first time. It was a very brutal scene where, a golf club is taken and they just beat the shit out of, it's crazy. But since Joel has been killed in the show, the ratings for the show have just plummeted. And people have shown an immense lack of interest in where this is going. So you can see what's happened here. Generally thought of as a great, and then since episode 2, we're now into episode 4. It's taken a nosedive here, and we saw this as well. John Root over on X says The Last of Us episode 4 was one of the wokest episodes of TV of all time. Ella's a lesbian on the show, not the game, but she is. Played by non-binary actress Bella Ramsey, falls in love with Dina, who is bisexual. Ella finds out Dina is pregnant by her boyfriend. She responds with, I'm gonna be a dad. The episode also includes gay pride flags, as well as a pride mural. The show is cooked. Go woke, go broke. This is the scene that everyone's talking about right here, where it talks about being pregnant, and she says, I'm going to be a dad.
I'm confused. Why is she going to be the dad and not the boyfriend? Or is she no longer with that boy?
Yeah. There's also a finger banging scene.
That I saw, unfortunately.
I didn't want to see that either. I had no interest in anything that girl does in her privacy.
That's gross. Didn't need to see that.
Well, naturally, a lot of people are talking about this, including the Critical Drinker, friend of the show, been around a couple times. Will's a great dude. And he posted a video, said, why The Last of Us is falling apart. And in doing so, he was very critical of the show. Fair use was a common theme in his video. Disper, did you have a chance to see this video by chance?
No, I saw him put it out, but I hadn't had time to watch it. I've been obsessed with Doctor Who at the moment.
If you go in and you look for this video right now, it is currently unavailable, as the video contains content from Home Box Office, who has blocked it on copyright grounds here. You can find this right here. 619,000 views. It was well on its way to 1 million. And I see HBO has just copyright struck the Critical Drinker's latest video, Why The Last of Us is Falling Apart.
Now, wasn't it a long time ago that The Last of Us got in trouble for this exact same thing with loads of YouTubers for claiming them about talking about the game?
Oh, Naughty Dog?
Yeah, about YouTube, they were taking down channels. People were on 2 strikes, could get banned permanently and stuff.
Yeah.
I believe you're right. Right. But this does bring the question, and is actually brought by Drinker just a few minutes ago over on X, is, hey, HBO, are you guys going to unblock my Last of Us video or continue to shamelessly abuse the YouTube copyright system like you're like a bunch of pussies? Because really, you're just proving how afraid you are of actual criticism here. And so that brings up all sorts of questions. I'm sure he used some footage from the show, but you can use that stuff if it's fair use, specifically in, the United States and such. So there was obviously talk about, could this have been like a prank hater who filed a copyright claim on behalf of HBO, even though it's not really HBO. We see the copyright system being abused all the time. Disparu, have you dealt with any of this type of copyright stuff with your channel at all?
Yeah, if you use content from TV shows or movies or anything, you always get claimed. What would normally happen, you upload it, you wait, it clears, you don't have any other issues. I would be very surprised if he hadn't waited for that to go through first before he published it. So it looks like, I don't know whether it was a manual claim, it didn't say in the tweet or anything, but if you've ever watched any of his videos, there will be the odd clip, normally quite rarely, and then it's just various different video footage over the top of him talking, which by any definition in any court in the land would be fair use. That's without even just criticism being a natural defense. Well,
to further your point home, the idea that he sent this through the system and it was fine. Yeah, it was fine because it was viewed 619,000 times, right? So
yeah,
somebody
it's a manual strike.
1,000%. Somebody from HBO that represents HBO went in and manually struck this because they didn't like what was being said. So this begs the big question: is a big company like HBO with a big IP like The Last of Us going out of their way to block criticism of the show under the guise of copyright?
But like I said, it's what Naughty Dog did before. They were renowned for it. They did multiple YouTubers all at the same time, which is the scandal became almost a bigger deal than the game at one point because they were going that far with it. I think it was Ryan, RK Outpost, at one point had 2 strikes. And so we had a choice. Do I just not publish any more videos? Or do I just carry on and hope that these get taken off? So some people were losing their livelihoods over it. Naughty Dog have always been very dodgy about this kind of stuff. I think it was, again, heel vs. babyface. I remember he had trouble with them. And so I think he took a video down and then had a whiteboard and just said, I'm just going to draw it. And he just started drawing scenes from the game. It's like, this isn't even your stuff. Claim this if you dare.
Right. And that's kind of the big thing is people are saying, why don't you just re-upload it without the video? Just re-upload it. And when you look at like something like this, let's just say it was HBO. They came in, they claimed it for copyright or whatever reason. All it's doing right here is building momentum for Drinker's message about the game. Like this was seen 600,000 times, but way more people are going to be talking about the idea that they censored it, which will ultimately put a megaphone on the message of like, hey, this is what's wrong with the show. Ultimately putting a bigger spotlight on HBO, which it's one of these things I don't think these companies truly understand, that when you try to censor things or, put it under the guise of copyright, it's only going to backfire on them.
Yes, but to the point of, well, why don't you just put it in the footage? In my reviews and stuff, I use a lot of clips, but they're like 3 seconds each. But it shows you, because a lot of the time I say something like, no one would believe this is in the show unless I show them. And it just makes for a better, more entertaining video. So yeah, you could just sit there and talk and do a talking head video, but it would be a lot worse content and a lot less people would see it. And so the message would get out less, which is exactly what they want. They want you to make the most boring video you possibly can so that nobody finds out about it. So I do think it's important that people are still able to use clips and stuff, because it is obviously fair use. It is protected by law, and the only reason that we have any of this trouble is because YouTube doesn't want to arbitrate the legal system, and so they've made a system which companies are exploiting. I do think there needs to be more clarification about this, and I think the legal, like the laws, just they're not fit for purpose. They were designed for the music industry and stuff, and CDs, records, that kind of stuff, not digital clips. So,
well, I think this is HBO needs to respond here pretty quick, and it'll be interesting. And one thing I'm curious about is, did he receive any sort of possible strike on his account? If there's, he hasn't said anything about that yet, but
I doubt it. I would imagine it's just copyright. Well, it's like, this is our copyrighted material, and they have a choice. They can either take the revenue or block it in certain countries. And then I think if you fight it, so you're like, well, no, this is clearly fair use, they have 30 days to reply. By 30 days, that video, no one's going to care about it because it's old news. So even if they let the time run out, they still got what they want.
Well, the word is definitely getting out regardless. At least on social media, maybe not on YouTube. And I'll be curious to see if he was to upload that exact same video to Twitter or X, if they would go in and copyright strike that as well. Because because it is a little bit harder to copyright that stuff. So
yeah, I think Twitter and stuff requires like DMCA claims, which then are actual legal. If you reply to that, it's like, well, sue me. So the YouTube system is a little bit less severe.
Marius says the only lesson that the producers of The Last of Us will take from this is that Pedro Pascal leaving means less viewers. Get ready for even more Pedro Pascal, everyone.
I do think part of that is true, because there is a part of the internet which is all like, oh, Daddy Pedro. It's probably very similar to the Handmaid's Tale kind of audience. I don't see it within myself, but I've seen Twitch streamers say it, and their entire community agrees. They definitely exist.
People love Pedro.
Why?
Because they don't follow him on social media. They didn't see
No,
the
but who
things he
cares
said.
about
Well, no,
what their
like
personal
that.
opinions are? Like, I don't care about that. It's just like, I don't think he's that good of an actor. I don't think he's that good looking of a guy to be like, oh, like he's like some new Brad Pitt, you know?
Well, let me tell you why. He's not that good, so he can't demand. Like his box office returns, his returns on investment on him are not high enough to where he can demand Brad Pitt money to be in a movie, right? So he's a tier or two below them.
Bargain bin, got it.
Exactly. he doesn't charge enough to be out of the club, so they put him in everything. He's like Jack Black, right? Jack Black's in everything, right?
Why is Jack Black can sing?
Well, I mean, they put him in everything because he's affordable, and he's proven that he can make money, not enough money, but enough money, right? Which makes him valuable. So, yeah.
And there also are like a significant chunk of women. There is a whole thing where if you're on like birth control and stuff, you prefer softer, more soy kind of blokes, because it makes you feel like you're pregnant. So you don't want a dangerous bloke. You want somebody that's going to care for you. So his whole thing about, no, I just need to hug people and I have to hold people because I'm so nervous, is appealing to them. And then he says all the right opinions that they all agree with. And they're like, oh, he's so virtuous and he's soft and caring. And then they really get it. That's how they end up calling a soy guy Daddy.
Marmalin says they struck it because it was going to outperform their new series. This is a dog shit mediocre story that gamers hyped up since the first was okay at best. Thanks, Marmalin. Key Rock says, are these people just that ignorant? The Streisand effect is a well-known phenomenon and has been proven to be true time and time again. Montez, thank you, Key Rock. Accurate. Lex says, there should be a fine system for false copyright claims / abusing people's fair use rights. Well, listen, I'll tell you this right now. There should be some laws in place for things like that. There should be laws in place for doxing. If that ever happened, oh my God, that's ridiculous. Game Hunter Sirius says, my coworker used my Macs. He hates The Last of Us 2 and the show. Thank you, Sirius. Okay. Let's move on and talk about streamers, because this is so funny. Are you familiar, Disparu, with Pirate Software?
Yes.
Okay. So Pirate Software has 2.5 million subscribers over on YouTube. He is currently live over on Twitch with 6,395 viewers. He has another 727 watching him over on YouTube. Very big audience, done very well for himself.
I think he got it very quickly as well. He kind of went parabolic. Yeah,
he kind of blew up because of his shorts and on social media, and that's kind of how a lot of people found him. He had a lot of viral clips at one time and kind of popped up. I'm not gonna say overnight because he did grind for a long time, but he's seen a lot of success, and good for him. I will never be upset at people for their success in the streaming space. It is incredibly hard to make it. But he was streaming the other day and had here is his YouTube channel. He was streaming the other day to a psychiatrist, and they were having a conversation, which I thought was absolutely fascinating to see. And I wanted to kind of show this to you really quick.
If it's the clip I'm thinking of, I'm entirely on Pirate Software's side.
Okay. I don't know if you've seen this or not. We'll see. This is Mental Health May right here. So this is part of this right here.
I think sometimes the things that I talk about in regards to those types of things is misconstrued as arrogance or boasting, when in reality, I'm just trying to give context.
So that is the problem right there. So I want you to listen to this phrase.
Sure.
This gets misconstrued as arrogance, but in reality, it's this.
Yeah.
That is the most arrogant statement on the planet, bro. Like, tell me I'm wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Don't see it that way, but all right.
Right? So, oh, yeah. So you don't see it that way. You're wrong.
No.
So, Disparu, is this the clip you're thinking
of? No. The clip I saw was the guy on the other side being like, something about you rubs me the wrong way. I just don't like you.
Wow.
The other guy was like, so? And it's like, yeah, based. It's like, what, you're talking about your opinion as if it matters. Oh, everyone needs to care about my feelings. It's like, I don't care whether you like it. But in that, it was like, he could be right. I don't care whether somebody says they're right or says that you're wrong or says that their opinion is always right. What I care about is it true? So, okay, you say Pirate Software is wrong. Great. Well, let's find out the reality of the situation, the objective truth, and find out if he is. Like, I don't care if someone's offended. Like, if you say that someone's an idiot and they get offended, okay, well, are they an idiot? That's the first thing I need to find out before I find out whether your offense is justified or not. So, to me, it just depends what they're talking about.
So I have not pre-screened this clip at all. So we're going to see this continued on. It's this guy named Dr. K. He says, Dr. K spitting facts to Pirate Software. Let's see what this goes. See where this goes.
I know y'all think that Oblivion is an amazing game. I'd give it a 10 out of 10, but Oblivion is the decline of the Elder Scrolls series.
You think this is AI?
Yeah, look at his lips as he's talking. His miles off.
I know y'all think that Oblivion is an amazing game. I'd give it a 10 out of 10, but Oblivion is the start of the decline of the Elder Scrolls series.
It may be delayed on your side because it's in sync on mine. Yeah.
Oblivion is the first step in the wrong direction to what ended up as Starfield. That is something for a lot of people to have difficulty understanding. Right? Because Oblivion was a great game. It's a 10 out of 10. But if you want to really understand the glory that was Elder Scrolls, you have to play Morrowind. And
chat is very divided on this topic.
Okay, bunch of nothing right there. Sorry, I didn't pre-screen that one. But
well, I do agree that Morrowind was the best Elder Scrolls. Oblivion was a downgrade.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting to see. Oh, here we go. This is the clip that you're talking about right here.
Yeah.
Over the last 2 hours, there's something about the way that I hear you talk that rubs me the wrong way. There's something about the way that you talk that seems dismissive.
It took him like 6 seconds to figure out the word dismissive right there.
Well, he was searching for a word that he thought he could get away with using. That wouldn't be offensive, that he thought would sound like shrinky. Right. Oh, but the answer is, why? Why should I care? Oh, you feel dismissed. Okay. Are you worthy of not being dismissed? Have you said anything during the conversation which is actually valuable enough for him to listen to? Are you correct or just spouting nonsense? Like, there isn't really much point in listening to someone who just goes, oh, you're dismissing me. Well, okay, then leave? I don't know why he should care. Like, he's not responsible for everyone else's opinions about him. He just needs to be the person he is, and then you get to decide whether you like that or not, or spend your time with him or not.
It's should a psychiatrist be saying that? Isn't it like a psychiatrist's job? I don't know. I have never been to a shrink, right? Is a psychiatrist's job there to be like, I just don't like you. I don't really like the things you're saying right now.
There's a lot of modern psychiatry which focuses on people's feelings and affirming people's feelings, and you need to be heard. And I think that has a space for some people. I don't think it's a particularly masculine way of dealing with problems. Who, if you just went out and lifted weights, you'd probably feel a lot better than going and wallowing in your own pit of despair. That would be hell for me. Sitting through one of those conversations and you just want to talk about your feelings for 2 hours, I couldn't imagine anything worse, personally. But I do think, I actually think there's more of a problem than going, I just don't like you, to not only is it's probably unhealthy to do that in front of loads of people, if you want the truth, or you're doing this as an entertainment show. And there's an element of that where, what would be the most entertaining part in that? Well, people love drama and tears. You're going to have an incentive to kind of break the person. It's like, I want this guy to have some kind of emotional outburst in one way or another so that I can clip it. And I don't think that's healthy, or I don't think that this is a space for that kind of stuff.
Going back to the original clip here, the idea of claiming he's arrogant or dismissive, like, I think that there is, if you work in the streaming space, right? I'm going to go on a limb and say, I think that the vast majority of people have at least a little bit of arrogance or confidence into what they do, right? And by a little bit, I mean probably more than the average person, because you have to be confident to turn on a camera every day and be confident in yourself to be able to throw that out there. You know, you have to have some sort of self-confidence.
There is something inherently egotistical about putting something on the internet and assuming it's good enough for other people to listen to. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to be necessarily confident because you're talking to a camera. So there are a lot of streamers who you get them in real life and they're going to be shy. But they're talking to a camera, it's easy. So I wouldn't necessarily say confidence, but you do have to think there is something more worthwhile about what you're saying than what other people are. Because otherwise, if someone else is already doing what you're doing, what's the point of saying it? And to break through, you need to bring something new. So there's probably some kind of ego there. Yeah, I don't think streamers are necessarily the most stable of people as a group.
Right. Yes, you go like the gaming community, then you have streamers in the gaming community. It's like
there's a lot of drama and scandal among streamers.
Right. We have this over here says clearly you guys have no clue what a clown or joke pirate is. Maybe don't talk about it if you didn't do research. I say, hey, listen, we're just talking about things on the surface level here based off of what we're seeing online in the conversation that we're having with this Dr.
For the
K
record,
guy.
I don't like him, so.
I mean, but just because you don't like him doesn't mean we won't talk
it's
about
just
him, you know?
it's not about anything he said. It's about those contexts in those videos that we're discussing.
What don't you like?
He went after Ross for his accursed farm stuff. Like, he lost his head for no reason. And after that, I'm just like, you're not all there, man. And I don't like your hair.
That's a good reason not to like him, Blabs. There you go.
Well, no, he just went after Ross for his accursed farms and, like, you know, his save games and all that.
Sure.
Before.
As somebody who's been attacked many times for for various things like that, hey, you know, let's just kind of deal with the criticism. If you're online, chances are you're going to get criticized. And
but for me, talking about the people involved is far less interesting than talking about the ideas that they're talking about. So the ideas of, is arrogance wrong? Well, Elon Musk is probably very arrogant, but he's got all the stuff to back it up. So isn't that just like knowing what he's capable of? And people are like, well, you dismiss me. So yeah, but if he knows more than you and you're talking nonsense, he's right to dismiss you. And so a lot of people treat things like that as just, well, these are negative personality traits. And I don't think they are. I think it depends on the individual.
You know, I'd be very curious if, let's just say this was flipped and Pirate Software said this exact same thing to this guy, right? And he's like, I think you're arrogant and dismissive. Would people
he
be
is
like,
in this clip?
you mean this guy over here? The guy on the right?
The shrink is arrogant and dismissive in this clip when he's like, you know.
I 100% agree with you. I think the arrogant, the shrink does sound very arrogant and dismissive in his thoughts here. You know, would it be that viral of a clip? I don't know. I mean,
I think it would. I think maybe like, oh my God, you can't talk about him. You're calling him arrogant. Well, he's got a PhD or whatever. You know, he's got a certificate that proves that he knows more than you. I do find people are happy to let things pass with certain qualifications or distinctions, but they don't like other people that may not have them going, well, what is actually special about that?
Right.
Could you tell me?
I would think, you know, I think that just based off of what I've seen and just kind of the body language and everything as a non-shrink, they both look pretty arrogant just in how they spoke to each other and dismissive. But hell, who am I? I'm just a guy on the internet over here. So
I did like one of the comments underneath where he goes, when he calls him dismissive, he laughs, which is very dismissive. I'm like, yeah, you got over there. He's like, well, what do you expect me to do? But it is a point, though. If someone calls you dismissive, you're like, well, what do you want me to do with this information? Yeah. I think you're arrogant.
Well, it's like, well, thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah. All right. Hey, Abdulio says even Morrowind was a step in the wrong direction, but we just didn't realize it. Morrowind is when things began to be simplified, but not enough to be noticeable. Then simplified more in Oblivion until we ended up with the slop of Skyrim and Fallout 3, 4, and 76.
Yeah, Morrowind was my first one, so I never played Daggerfall, which I think Morrowind's pretty complex. If Daggerfall is more complex, that's impressive.
We are 4 yellow supers away from our goal of 20 for the day, and we'll get our Montez goal going today. We got a nice little streak moving, so I feel like we're going to hit that. Thank you guys very much for your support. Switzerland Play came in and says, look who's talking, abusing the word lasagna for soup. By the way, made it. It's okay. Just don't call it lasagna soup. Thanks, Switzerland Blaze. Delta says, what is that face, Blabs? Do you make that face when people say they enjoyed it? Should I go like that every time somebody enjoys it?
No.
Blabs, you're being incredibly arrogant and dismissive right now. Then we have Delta says, all right, Craig, you heard the woman. Stop harassing her over Olive Garden and go back to the classic Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Did you know?
I'm going to go watch Terminator behind all your backs with my friends.
Don't not watch Terminator.
Oh,
I've seen like bits and pieces as a kid, but I've not seen the full thing, I don't think. If I did, I can't remember.
I've seen Terminator.
I don't like Arnold.
So? It's barely even Arnold. I don't think his face moves the entire film. He's just a stand-in for a robot. It's the best acting he's ever done because he doesn't need to.
Because the movie is good. That's why it has good story. It's not like blood and guts. Like if you want to watch that, you watch Commando or something.
I don't want to
like
watch that. I don't want to see blood and guts.
But I'm saying, Blabs, Terminator is not blood and guts. It is a suspenseful thriller action movie. It's awesome.
I'm gonna go watch it with my friends in real life and be like, fuck all you internet people.
Don't you fucking dare.
I will do as I please.
No, you will not. You will watch Terminator.
I have no say in the matter if I watch a movie or not.
You will watch it on Plus, and everyone will be joyous, and everyone will enjoy it. Because I want to be there with you, Blabs.
I don't want to watch Terminator with you.
And the second one's even better.
Because then we watch Terminator 2 together. Just saying.
Maybe one of the few movies where the sequel improves it.
That's right. Unreal. Abdulio came back, says, thank you so much, Abdulio, with the 12. Says, comparing Elder Scrolls Arena to Daggerfall to what comes after, it's drastic how much things have been dumbed down. Julian LaFay, the father of Elder Scrolls, left because of the direction Bethesda was going during the development of Morrowind. Thank you, Abdulio. Marius says, yes, internet psychiatrist. Truly the best way to address your mental health issues whilst online. Bold strategy, Cotton.
I just find it weird, the idea that as a whole, you kind of need a default correct person in order to have that guy go, well, you're not correct. And you generally find they're like, well, I'm good. You need to be me, and if you're not like me or handle things differently than me, you're mentally ill and I will give you a diagnosis. And I just don't like that. I think there's a whole range of people who are just healthy, normal people and don't need the long list of things. They just handle things a different way. And some people can be arrogant without being mentally ill and requiring treatment.
It's true. But there are a lot of arrogant people who need mentally need some treatment.
Well, they can be wrong, but it's like they don't need to go to a shrink about it.
All right. And by the way, Camel Toe Tag, I love your name, says a PhD means nothing. I have a PhD, public high school diploma. Let's go. Missionary says Morrowind was trash. Daggerfall was peak. Fight me.
Never played it.
All right, we're going to get to the rest of your supers here in just a little bit, guys. Thank you very much for your support. Just 3 away from our goal.
I have
The
that
big
attitude with Baldur's Gate though. Baldur's Gate 2
Oh,
and Baldur's Gate were way better than the 3D versions.
Disprew's about to fight you. All right, the big news today in the world of video games is the drop trailer out of nowhere of Grand Theft Auto 6. The second trailer released now. It has millions of views over on X. It has million views over on YouTube and racking them up. Blabs, have you seen this trailer yet?
Of course. In fact, over on YouTube, in the first 40 minutes that it launched, it gathered over 1 million likes in 40 minutes.
Well, now it's at almost 3 million likes in just over 4 hours. Number 5 on trending, 17 million views. It is going crazy over on X. And let's go ahead and take a look at it for those who haven't seen it. Let's go and watch it. And
Will we get hit or no?
Sure as hell hope not. I don't know. We can stop and react to it and things like that. But let's go ahead and take a look at it. I don't know. Should we do this? Should we react to it?
I don't know. I don't know if we'll get hit or not. It's over almost 3 minutes.
You don't normally get hit for game trailers, but I think there is music in some parts.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what we'll
There
do.
are images on the website that you can pull up. So like they're
talking about some of these things, some of the technical details. This person noticed in the GTA 6 trailer as a professional game artist here, which is a really nice thread. It says muscles deform realistically on characters. And these are the things that take 10 years to develop, Disparu.
Yeah. He's talking about male jiggle physics. It's like nobody is interested.
Mirrors finally have realistic reflections. Finally. It's like it's something everyone's been waiting for. Finally.
I mean, isn't that just like a side effect of having RTX on, which is presumably how they got them in the first place?
Listen, as a video game developer, this is a big deal. So much so that it has a picture with a red circle on it. So that's wanted to point that out.
RTX has existed for a long time, and it's probably going to have such an impact on the FPS, you'll just turn it off. So I don't think we'll be getting those realistic reflections.
Yes, you can see all this in 3 frames per second, which is great. Sweat drips from the character's body. Beer forms realistic foam and bubbles. Wow. Like,
yeah, but does it? I mean, none of this is in-game footage. And so, yeah, they may have spent 3 days rendering that beer bottle having bubbles inside it, but it doesn't mean you're going to get it in the game.
Here are some quite complex physics simulations. Body parts actually jiggle when moved around.
I think he's reused that from the first.
Individually molded coins in the cash register. Look at that. Metal fence appears to have actual geometry. This is, you got to be a super nerd to look at this.
I mean, it is cool to see, these little nitpicks. I think it's cool. But yeah, like Disper says, I'm going to wait until the actual gameplay to see all the little details, which I'm pretty sure they'll have fantastic details in it. With hope, since they've been working on this for how many years? A
decade. Yeah. Parallax occlusion mapping. I don't even know what this means. Okay.
No, I think you mean shadows. Yeah, I think that was a complex way of saying shadows.
Right. A hair shader produces impressive results. There you go. Look at that. And high quality light flare. We got that. Way to go. And traffic density has increased significantly compared to previous games. Look at all those cars.
Well, now that is a console thing. The traffic density was always there in the PC versions. That's just how much rendering power do you have. That's how you can do the games. It just, I don't know, the trailer to me seemed like it was going for a more serious thing. It focused a lot more on the romance. There didn't seem to be much comedy or like radio jokes or anything that were in the first ones. All the kind of comedy memes taking the piss out of current society and all that stuff, that seems to have vanished. Like, no, this is a Bonnie and Clyde message about 2 criminals getting together. I don't know. There was a Jason Schreier article from a few years back that was talking about how their culture had changed, and they were dropping the frat boy culture of the game development company. And I do wonder if they want this to be a more grown-up kind of serious game. It's like we don't want to do any of that fun stuff that we used to do. And I'm not sure that's what I want from GTA, but we'll see how it turns out.
Well, I mean, what's the kind of perception of GTA games is like it's the only game that you can you can go get a hooker, kill her, and get your money back, right?
Yeah.
that was kind of the whole
entire
idea.
point. Well, you look at GTA 5, and it was basically N-word simulator. There was like they had an NPM at one point of just how fast they could spit out. They would say anything, take the piss out of anything, and in this trailer, all that seemed to have gone. And I'm sure there's American cultural references and stuff that I just don't get or miss or whatever. So I'm sure there's some kind of stuff in there that's meant to be funny, but it was a lot more in your face and almost cartoony that world before.
This is an article from 2022 referencing a 2018 report. So we're at the better part of a decade at this point. But this is from PC Gamer. It says Rockstar's culture of crunch is changing as GTA 6 picks up speed, employees say. And that is one of the things where they announced the delay of another year. They're saying that they are trying to reduce the crunch, which is why they're giving it another year of development, as opposed to, just getting it out as fast as they possibly can. So good for them, I guess. This is from the Morrison Group. I'm sorry.
Doesn't really bother me. It's like I care about the end product. I don't really care how it was made or what the people had to go through to make it. Just make a good game and then release it. Like I don't want to know about your labor disputes or you going on strike or anything. That means nothing to me.
So there's a famous football coach here in the United States, American football coach named Bill Parcells, and his famous phrase is, "Don't tell me about the labor pains, just show me the baby." Like, I don't care how we got there, just show me the baby. And I think you are 99.9% of people that, oh, look, here it is. I'm cool. I don't really care about the story of how we got there unless there's some, super documentary that's being told that's part of the marketing for it. Okay, fine, I'll watch that. But like most of the time, I'm there. I just want to play GTA 6 and that's it,
I don't think it's the customer's duty to care about how the product. Like, I don't buy a vacuum cleaner and want to know the exact labor that went into making it. No, I just want the product. Thanks, it does a job. Fine. I give you the money. You give me the product.
Yes, 1000%. Blabs, are you like that?
What was the question? Sorry, I was reading the super chats. I'm bringing them over for you.
Thanks, Blabs.
Sorry, I missed you half the question. What was it, please?
Do you care about studios that have a crunch culture, the idea that they're working overtime to get the game out for you, or do you just care about the final product?
So actually, that's a funny point that you bring up, because yesterday I saw a tweet and they were talking about like crunch time. I'm like, what the hell is crunch time for this game? Because it's been in development since like the whole idea was since 2014. It's been worked on since 2018. So it's like, so what is crunch time for this game? Because now you've even delayed it even more. So if you have X amount of budget, X amount of people, realistically, if executed well, you shouldn't have a crunch time, correct? Because everything should be planned out precisely. So I don't understand what a crunch time is for this game. I don't get it. And everyone's like, oh, that's a bit stupid. And they were calling me stupid on Twitter. So what else? No.
Well, but I mean, I do think that is actually a nice question, all right. If a game has been in development for a decade, is there really such thing as crunch?
That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, so what is crunch time? It's funny how this came up because it was literally on Twitter yesterday. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
I am interested in understanding what crunch time is for them. Definitely curious to know what they consider crunch time.
I mean, also,
we had to get 10 more donuts.
Crunch is just a part of a work environment. Yeah, you have a deadline, you didn't finish it by it, but it's got to get out. You can't delay it, so that means you're going to have to work more. And then, yeah, they can give you a rest or whatever afterwards. They can make up for it. You get paid. I don't really understand what the issue is.
I saw in the chat, somebody said crunch is a result of bad management. And
yeah.
I think there's truth in that, but there's also truth in the idea that sometimes crunch can be a result of, well, shit happens and or people didn't get the job done when they needed to get done. Maybe a lackluster workforce. There's blame on all sides when it comes to that stuff. Now, generally, I do agree with you that yes, it may be over aggressive goals when it comes to management and stuff, maybe the result of that. But with GTA in general, when the game's been in development for over a decade at this point, like you got to ask, well, when they sat back in like 2013 or whatever it was, and they're like, listen, we're going to make GTA 6. And they said, well, when are we going to release this? And they're going to go 2026. like surely somebody was like, It's like 13 years from now. Like, are you fucking serious? You know, like, how the hell are we going to do that? I don't think that's how it was originally pitched. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so to me, and then like when it's delayed, right? So it's originally supposed to be 2025. They delay it again because they want to do something with it. It's like, I don't understand crunch anymore. But oh well.
All right. Flying Dutchman says, I have a PhD post-hole digger. Thank you so much, Flying Dutchman. Appreciate that. Death says, normal men don't mute trailers. Well, they do when it comes to YouTube's copyright system. That's right.
Yeah, there is like chart music in that trailer in some points.
Yeah.
PRI Merrill says, hey, Craig, the Bethesda talk reminded me of the bucket clip of the week. Any chance you can play it? It's been deleted from the archives. The one where we put the bucket on everybody's heads. Yeah, that's a long time ago. I don't even know if I could find that, but maybe.
Bucket hats?
No, an actual bucket. Ian says, imagine how many views the trailer is going to rack up, because that's all the GTA bros get to huff on for another 12 months, right? There'll be people going through every single frame of that thing. I promise you that. Keyrock says
15 things you missed in the GTA trailer. There'll just be a thumbnail with a circle on a tiny little thing.
Right,
Probably
exactly.
not even mentioned in the video.
Yeah, 6 months later, they're still finding stuff.
I mean, we see it right here. This will be the thumbnail right here. That will be the thumbnail.
Yeah. Did you know they have lights in this game?
That's right. Oh, wow. And someone will probably take this exact thread and just make a video about it on YouTube. So
yeah. I do want to point this out that over on Plus, Lex sent a meme. So I do have it pulled up, and I think it is spectacular. So here it is.
Hey, let's go. Look at
I like it a lot. You got Kirsten, Mally, Disbrew, Cody, ourselves. Like, it's perfect.
Thanks, Lex. Appreciate the hard work on that. That's good stuff. Keyrock says, are these people just that ignorant? The Streisand effect is a well-known phenomenon, has been proven to be true time and time again. Montez. Thank you, Keyrock. Marmalin says, they struck it because it was going to outperform their new series. That is dog shit mediocre story that gamers hyped up since it was okay at best. I don't know why. I think I read that one already. Marius says, let's go, Montez. Let's go. We did hit our Montez goal. How exciting is that?
Can actually release videos that would outperform The Last of Us. That is the thing. That is a genuine threat.
Isn't that amazing?
It's so weird because, like, I'll go on Facebook and I'll see, like, these pop-ups of, like, The Last of Us. And everyone's like, it's peak cinema. Oh, my God, it's so amazing. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what are you smoking?
Have you seen the one recently? She's firing a gun with her unhinged jaw like a snake. That's so bizarre.
No.
Yeah. Oh, let me pull this up, dude.
The Matrix had like sunglasses on because people blink when they fire a gun and they thought it wasn't cool. And now we've devolved to the point where you can just unhinge your jaw and they just keep it in.
Here it is, Blabs.
Wait, she dislocated her jaw?
It looks like it. Look at that.
What is that? I mean, I get it, it's a still, right? But
oh God, nobody needed to see this zoomed in.
Don't do that, Craig. No, stop. Oh, there it is. Dude, this poor child has like the worst face.
I've seen other memes where they put her next to Rachel Zegler, who also had like the unhinged jaw to the side.
That's funny.
Just keep that. There's your thumbnail. That's a spectacular.
At no point did anyone go, we should probably do another take there. It was like, no, keep it in.
Oh, man. I mean, you take a freeze frame of anything and they can look like idiots, but at the same time, that's pretty fucking funny, you know?
Yeah, but isn't she meant to be like some badass killer by this point in the game? She's killed hundreds of people. It's like, I've got a gun.
All we really need to do there is to make that a thumbnail is just put a red circle around her head.
Look at the details of her jaw.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, well, we did hit our Montez goal. Disbrew, you get to pick our Montez animation today that we get to roll here. We have multiple picks, and I'm going to list a bunch of games, and you get to pick which game this comes from. Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat, Super Mario Brothers, The Moon, Dustborn, Duck Hunt, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, Tetris, Street Fighter 2 featuring Dalsum, Kirby, Earthbound, Double Dragon, Montez, Ninja Turtles, or Growl.
I loved the cringe, and so Dustborn was as soon as Dustborn landed, the only one I could ever pick.
Well, it's been a while since we've seen Dustborn. Let's roll.
Bitch!
Thank you guys very much for your support today. Genuinely appreciate it. Hitting that Montez goal. Love that. We do have a lot of other super chats we want to get to, but before we do, we have one more story. I'll tell you what. Just for you get to pick. Do you want to talk Expedition 33 or do you want to talk about this Twitch streamer who streams 24/7?
I would go with the Twitch streamer, but I don't know if that's a good choice or not for the... Normally I'd let the audience decide.
Oh, that's very sweet. Sorry, Disbrew picked. There you go.
That's the thing. It's like, give the people what they want is generally the best idea.
Well, this is, yes, that's generally it. But alas, that will not happen today. No.
That seems quite arrogant and dismissive to me.
That's right. I'm sorry. Okay, let's talk about this streamer. I am not familiar with her, but she has an audience of 325,000 followers over on Twitch. Now, what that means is pretty much nothing because they won't get notified when she goes live because she's always live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and has been live that way for 3 years. This girl's name, Emily CC, and she has the longest stream ever and fears that if she was to stop streaming, it would be, quote, career suicide. This is coming from Dexerto over here, as this is her gimmick here. Now, she is currently live and she is sleeping. You can see what happens here with 300 people tuning into her right here. She has a subathon going on, been live for 1,276 days. She's
Wait, you can't have a subathon if you're live all the time.
I agree.
The point of subathons is to keep the stream going, but you're never going to end anyway.
Right. It says over the last few years, subathons and similar streams have become incredibly popular on Twitch, which we should definitely do something like that over here.
Wait a second. So you're telling me she hasn't turned off her PC in like 3 years?
Kind of based. I do like that.
It's a good question. I don't know.
How does that work? Doesn't your PC just fry after being on for that long?
I don't know. Fans get to support the favorite streamers, and in turn, they can't end the stream until the subscribers stop rolling in. Okay, the likes of Kai Sinet, Iron Mouse, Ludwig have all had iconic subathons on Twitch, lasting a month at a time. However, Emily CC holds the record for longest stream on Twitch and has now lasted well over 3 years. Emily has gotten recognition from plenty of other creators. Kai Sinet even hosted her on his Mafia-thon too and sent subscribers her way. However, she has questioned what more viewers want from her. Says she stroked to Washington Post about her marathon broadcast, touching on the effects it has on her personal life, being unable to date, and if she'd ever actually quit being live every day. Emily noted that it would be, quote, career suicide to end the stream anytime soon, and dreads being in front of the camera at times, especially as viewers complain about a slow day from time to time. She added that fans are expecting more all the time, but also I'm like, what more do you want?
Well, that's also the viewer's prerogative. It's the same thing as the crunch thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not their job to care about your life, your problems, or anything about you. You are entertainment for them. You appear on the screen, and that's all you're for. You're essentially not really a person when you're in that entertainment mode. And so to expect them to care about your entire life just because you chose to put it online is unfair in the first place. If you're not entertaining them, they either have a right to complain or leave. So,
says Emily doesn't want to give up on Twitch, comparing it to the exposure therapy. It's forcing myself to do things I don't want to do because I want this stream to work. I want it to work so bad that I just don't care anymore. Okay, I want to take this statement here, and
sounds like burnout.
It sounds like burnout. The idea of forcing myself to do things I don't want to do. Right? Think about that statement. Right? If this girl was to be with her boyfriend that she doesn't have, and she was to say the exact same thing, people would say that's an abusive relationship. Right? So her relationship with her audience, her relationship with Twitch is extremely abusive here. Now, with that said, there is some novelty to the idea of doing things that you don't necessarily want to do. I've done that a million times on the internet, whether it's streaming Sex with Hitler or Blabs watching Predator or whatever, right?
That was a weird thing to hear for the first time. I didn't know. I didn't know you'd done that with him.
I have played the game Sex with Hitler. Yes, indeed, it was an experience. But this is it's an interesting conundrum from a streaming perspective of, and I think that's why like authenticity is so important when it comes to this. Disbrew, have you ever run into like online burnout?
No, because if I don't want to make a video, I generally don't. I do think there's an element of it's work. Nobody wants to work, and there are times where you just have to. The video has to be out today, and so you just lose out on sleep because it has to get done. And you would prefer to sleep, but you do it anyway. But
how dare you crunch yourself?
I get to choose the topics that I talk about, and so I choose the ones that I enjoy, and I'm lucky enough that enough people watch them. It's different for her because she chose a gimmick which never turns off. So she can choose her topics, but she always has to be on. She always has to be in the entertainment mode. And I can understand why people would complain that's boring because, quite frankly, no one's personality is enough to entertain you 24 hours a day for 3 years. Just doesn't exist. Everyone needs to turn off.
Well, she is not alone, as the person behind her is at 862 days. This guy named Sweaty Pedals, he is live as well.
Oh, that'll definitely play into it then, because if she stops, he takes her niche.
Right. But he's streaming to, with all due respect, 38 people, right? And nobody in his chat over here. So like,
oh, it also looks like he's just replaying old clips though as well. So he might be out and doing something, which is cheating.
Adds a little bit of balance to it, I suppose. But yeah, like I knew a guy who worked so long before I started on the internet. I worked in radio for a very short amount of time. I worked as Blabs. I worked as a producer for a show, and the host of the show was so terrified to take a day off that in doing so, he was so insecure with himself that he felt that if he took a day off, the person who was filling in for him would come in and take his time slot. And I always felt really bad for him because that's really what it came down to, is he wasn't confident enough in his product to think that his audience would come back to him. And when I saw this story, that's what I thought about this Twitch streamer, Emily, and this dude, who's streaming over 800 days, is that if your product, and this piggybacks on what you're saying, Disparu, if your product is that good, people will come back to it, right? People will enjoy it. And taking a day off, taking a week off, whatever it may be, oftentimes is great for the audience. Like, we're going to have a summer break soon, right? We're going to take a week off, or, and we'll do another one in the fall. We did that last year. And you know what? It was great. We were confident enough to know that you guys would miss us, we would miss you, and we would come back refreshed, because ultimately that's what a vacation is for, right? We're not like, we can't really just like not stream, like Disparu, you were saying, well, if I don't want to make a video about it, I don't really make a video about it, right? But with our show in particular, like, there's always something to talk about, right? And our show has shifted to where, we spend 27 minutes talking about cucumbers on tacos. You know what I mean? It's not just like hardcore video games all the time, right? So that adds a little bit of diversity to the show, which I think
I find those are the best streams where you have topics and you might get to them, but it doesn't really matter if you do. And it's like, if the conversation is just more interesting, you just let it run. The worst streams that I felt like I've been on are the ones where they go, so, blah, 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 Steve, and they'll just give somebody a question and they lead him down a path, and then they'll give the next guy a different question. It's like, well, he might have a better answer to the first one. And so if you let things be freeform, I think it leads to a better show.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why, talk about this, like, I don't care about Harry Potter. Blabs does, which is why I let her talk about it, because she's so passionate about it, like, I want people
to pick up on that. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And we've talked about that on the show as well. But I don't know how you can be passionate, like, with all due respect to this girl and this guy, I don't know how you can be passionate about being live for 300 plus days in a row. At a certain point, like, it has to be a pain in the ass. Like, she wants this to work so bad. Those are her words. But at what cost? Because you are delaying dating, you're delaying your life. You have the opportunity of being doxxed at any time because they know your location. If you're walking around or whatever, like, you're a hermit.
I don't think with her it's about making it work, because I saw, I think it was Dexert or whatever tweeted it out, and they had a screenshot, and she had like over 10,000 subscribers. So she was doing exceptionally well. I don't know when that was from, but she's doing exceptionally well. I think her issue is she wants to keep growing or keep it at that same level. And the thing is, if you want to change, yes, people will drop off. But that's okay. You can drop, you can do something else, and you'll slowly rebuild over time. And I see this happen with a lot of Overwatch 2 streamers, right? They tried to do other games because they were so bored of that game, but then people stopped watching because they want to watch Overwatch 2. So they went back and played Overwatch 2. Like, yes, you saw the drop, and maybe it'd fail. Or maybe you'd get into a different game. Maybe you'd find a different niche and slowly build up again to where you were before. And it's not so much like the career failing. It might just be temporarily failing. It's just going to be that temporary risk. Or maybe, yeah, you don't get 10,000 subscribers and now maybe you get 5. But you know, you will lose money, but you'll be happier. Is it worth it? And it's that cost benefit.
Right. So I'm looking at, she is up right now. I'm looking at her stream right now. She has 6,502 subscribers, right? So more or less, you know, on Twitch, you get a 50% rev share, I think it is. On
at that range, she'll be getting 70. It does go up when you go over a certain level. Okay.
So, you know, just some basic math on that. Like the question to ask yourself is, are you willing to, you know, let's say it's a $4.99. Let's see, let's do some quick math here. $4.99 times 70%, times 6,500. Let's do some quick math. Okay. It's pretty good. Are you willing to broadcast your life?
There's Prime subs, there's ads, there's sponsorships. So that's like the minimum.
Right. So are you willing at a baseline to broadcast your life for $22,700 a month?
If you're not, I guarantee a lot of people are.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
And let's say you lose half and now you're doing it for 10,000 plus subscriptions and ads and everything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it worth being happy or being happier with your life? Or even simply, yeah, okay, so you lose some money, but you're also not live all the time, so you're actually not working. And it is fair that your income drops when you're not working. So, this is why I think people like Asmongold just have it better. Yes, he streams, but he's also on YouTube making videos. So if for some reason he doesn't stream, his YouTube stuff can keep going, and it's not like he's offline. The issue with Twitch streamers is when they're offline, they feel like they're not growing, they're not performing, and it's in their head, I should be online because I need to be working, which isn't particularly healthy all the time.
Yeah. Well, she does have ads rolling, and as pointed out in the chat, that Twitch is now $5.99 a month. So for an ad, so that breaks it up even higher. So just for shits and giggles, Blabs, if you want to start streaming 24 hours a day, that's $27,000 a month as opposed to $25,000 a month.
Yeah, but I don't know. You'd have to have an audience in the first place, really,
well,
for all this to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like we need to get a subathon going over here on YouTube and break some fucking records. So Ian came in with a €20 money. Says Disparu would be the most boring nonstop streamer because he just powers down in his chair until he senses a disturbance from a variety post.
Yes, there's been 1,000 voices screaming in the cringe.
Marius says eventually the viewers are going to leave. Anyways, novelty always wears off. And then what? What does she have then? Not worth it.
This is why the most successful streamers are the ones that transitioned out of like you had Seagull XQC came from Overwatch 2. They transitioned out of it and they got a far larger audience doing different things because people like them for them. And you're kind of thinking that the gimmick is more powerful than you are. And as a streamer, essentially, your personality is the main draw. If you can't trust your personality, it's going to dive bomb at some point.
Yep. It's, you know, I have former friends who have done their best to make a living on streaming. And, you know, they are clinging to the idea of streaming, and their audience has dwindled.
I would always recommend people make videos first and treat streaming as the side thing. Starting just streaming without videos is almost impossible to get discovered. You're so far down the page.
Yeah, you are correct.
Yeah, I actually have never done a live stream on my YouTube channel at all, and I hit 7K. It's just been videos and shorts, so.
because videos are algorithmic because and you're not competing with everyone else that's live and they're there all the time and YouTube will try and find you viewers. By far the best method.
This is what she looks like after streaming for 1,000 days straight. There you go.
That's a stream just as she wakes up. She's got her back to a camera so they can't see the disdain on her face. She's like, oh, gotta do this again.
Gotta get back to streaming. Ugh. All right, we do have some super chats. Disper, we're going to give you a chance to bounce if you like. You've been with us for 2 long hours, friends. So let's give you an opportunity to bounce before we get to these supers. You guys don't go anywhere, though, because we are going to be rating today's episode of Blabs Versus, which is set to premiere pretty much as soon as this stream is over. So don't go anywhere. You guys are going to stay with us. You can watch Blabs play Ninja Gaiden for the first time on the NES. It is as spectacular as you think it may be. So don't go anywhere. Don't close the window. Stay with us. Hit the thumbs up button. Disbrew, tell everybody where they can find you, my friend.
Yeah, Disbrew on YouTube. Next video will be the Doctor Who review of the episode that said I was evil and taking up people's bandwidth and destroying the world. And then people call me egotistical and arrogant, and I'm like, hey, you're the one that says I have the power to destroy the world, all right? No, that's not me.
All right, brother. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you on, man. Great
It's been fun, dude.
All right, man. We'll catch you later.
Bye,
Okay?
Disper.
All right, guys, don't go anywhere. Like I said, we have some super chats. We want to make sure they're all read. We appreciate your support, allowing us to do this on a day-to-day basis. I do think Blabs, a subathon is in our near future, though. We definitely.
Oh gosh.
we
you gotta do all the insults on Twitch to do the subathon.
All right, Blabs, let's get to some supers here, and then we are going to be rating Blabs versus Ninja Gaiden. Hi.
Okay, Detailed Devil says, my Navy network design instructor on his superiors, BS equals bullshit, MS, more shit, PhD, piled higher and deeper. Blabs, your thoughts are heterodox. Never change.
There you go.
Thank you. Mercenary says, GTA 6 delayed is rumored to movie. Woke. Thanks.
Okay.
Turdus King says, what will happen first? GRM releases wins or GTA 6? My money will soon be on George.
Yeah, it's GTA 6. They have a date.
Yeah. Disper, you can get the remaster of Daggerfall, which is way more stable than the original, and quality of life improvements for free on GOG.com. Sorry, we didn't get to tell him that one. Lex says, humor's supposed to be transgressive. If you tone it down for sensitivity, it's ruined. Oh, Joey says, just want to say hi, Side Scrolls from Epic Universe in Florida. Lucky Joey, I hope you have fun. Marmalade says, lead writer's gone from Rockstar, as is most of the devs for their older games. And how can you parody real life when the parody is now reality? Good question.
There you go.
Lex for 5 says, they're going to fuck up GTA, but meets robots will buy it. Keyrock says, I'm of the opinion that graphics got good enough during the PS4 Xbox One era. I'm not against more shiny, but I'll take better frame rates over more shiny every time. That's fair. Bane for 5 says, a trailer designed to... What? There's 2 A's.
Bird!
A trailer designed to appeal to women. The game will be no different. Nitpicky graphics be damned.
Thank you, Bane!
Jason says, forget Terminator. Blob should watch True Lives or Kindergarten Cop. If she likes those, then maybe try Last Action Hero and T2. Mercenary says, it's like Ghostbusters 2 being better than Ghostbusters 1. Skibbity Blabs, you're the most cruel mistress to the chat. Ouch. Didn't do anything. Game Hunter says, don't tempt me, Craig. I could write Asmongold lore. Oh, dear.
You should.
Fan fiction on Asmongold. Mojo says, Blabs is a mole.
Oh.
Thank you. Absolute Alma says, Blabs is funny the same way QT girls are funny. Quote, tweet girls? I don't know what that means, but thank you. Ranger George says, Disper uses pepper on his food. Nonsense. This is like why our empire is gone. Mercenary says, who said cumberser on tacos without hard shells of all things? Harry sigh. Well, no one said cumberser. Whatever that was. Snooty5 says, Disper has some of the best takes on the net. Also enjoy watching him on FNT and Drinker. Nerd Duel rocks. What's up, chat? Thanks for being here, Snooty. And thanks for always leaving tips on Plus. I see those. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Snooty, massive, man. Massive.
Yeah. Mercenary says, rumor terror of the woke. Thanks, Mercenary. Saint says, as a Puerto Rican with a half Mexican second cousin, I am offended, but not really.
You should be offended by everything.
Syndrome says, American who is the Mex blood here. Blabs, please visit Texas or Southern California and have real tacos. They're terrible for your health, but delicious.
Oh man, tacos are so bad.
I do want tacos.
Oh, they're so good.
Mercy says, I missed 13th Doctor and Missy. That was the last good Doctor. Text the Butts Gaming. Hey, Disper, love your vids. You need a mug that reads Cooties, Shooty, whatever that person's name, Tears. If you know, you know. That'd be funny. A Commodore fan says, on the GTA 6 trailer, all I saw were cutscenes, no actual gameplay, and it makes me wonder what they are hiding.
I think they'll get to it. They're still a year away, but yeah.
Silo says, Chicago deep dish is Italian pizza. Fight me, Blabs. I don't want to fight you on your brain dead takes. Dave says, take Blabs to the Victorian Farmers Branch for authentic Mexican food. Thank you very much. Skibbity, the answer is no. Wist for one says, it's also a travesty. Also, Tex-Mex is a thing, Blabs. I know it's a thing, but he's not Mexican. Just saying.
But I'm
Robo. No, shut up. Robo says, as a Taco American, I grant Craig the Mexican pass. Taco American. And we are all caught up.
Appreciate you. Delta says, more time won't stop crunch anyways. When you have 500 plus man studio, 95% of them won't have crunch, but then the 5% is still doing the brunt of the work, staying overnight to make sure everything goes smoothly for launch. Thank you, Delta. All right, guys, we're gonna raid Blabs versus. This is gonna be set when you show up. It's gonna say it's gonna premiere in like 9 minutes. It's not. I'm gonna change the time to premiere to set up immediately. And so get on over there and check it out. Let's see. I'm going to set it up to be premiering literally right now. So with that said, you guys have a great rest of your day. We'll see you guys later. Appreciate your support today. And thank you so much, Grateful Gamer. There you go. Right there. Check that out. Thank you, Grateful Gamer, for popping in at the horn. Have a great rest of your day. And remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. You guys on Rumble. Head over to YouTube and check out the premiere of Blabs versus Ninja Guide. And you guys have a great day. See you later. Bye-bye.